Welcome back to Factory Sealed. It is July 1st, 2018. My name is Eric Peters, and joining me today, Mr. Yam Reagan.
Hello.
Hi, Tom.
Hey, guys. How you doing?
Good. We got Mr. Mike Tyson.
Rally Hope.
Ooh, good reference. And the savior of the show himself, Mr. I Play Everything in 16 by 9, Mr. Dan Curtis.
Rally Hope. I felt strained.
How's your prostate?
It's hurting today, actually.
Collapsed.
Thank you for asking. Rally. Well, this went down the toilet straight away, didn't it?
Yeah, well, you just got to get it out of the way. So what we like to do, we like to pull the Band-Aid off really quick. But it's also been 3 weeks since we recorded, so we have that extra week of dumb built up.
Extra
They
week
know
to
how it
forget
works
what we
by
played.
now.
Yeah, they're used to it. They come to expect it.
It does get
They,
a lot
the
dumber
wizards.
over the longer periods.
I don't know what it is, because we all keep talking to each other every day, too.
Yeah, but not physically. I think that's the problem. Apart from the occasional voice message off Mike, which is unintelligible because it's just too loud.
Hey. Anyway, I saw Dan in person this week.
Ooh, how was that?
Oh, it was lovely. I visited the magical place of Hett, everyone,
Oh, no.
for one evening. So, we actually did a live video on the Facebook group. So if you go onto our Facebook group, which Eric is... You say this every week. You should know it.
Facebook.com/Factory Sealed podcast.
To be honest, I
Something
kind
like
of
that.
wasn't listening to what you said.
No, that's okay. But yeah, we did a live video whilst we were there. But
It's
anyway,
5 o'clock a.m. for Eric, so just bear with him.
I ended up near Hett and on a night out at work, and Dan invited me around his house and to visit Hett. I saw the village hall. Dan straddled a table.
I did.
There was
Saw
a duck
duck pond. There was a tyre swing. I think the best thing was while I was driving Mike into Hett, there was a tractor covered in hay. It was just. And then Mike sent it to Eric, and Eric just put, "Is that a boat?"
Like, what the hell's a boat doing in Hett?
Yeah, in landlocked Hett, we just sail round the duck pond.
It looked like a boat.
Watch out for the geese!
Standing on the
Starboard geese!
standing on the front of it with a sailor's hat on, going rally ho!
Mike, was driving into Hett like a magical experience, like you were stepping back centuries in time?
Oh man, there was nothing but like the road was so fucking narrow. I mean, we were trying to figure out where I could park the lorry up.
Oh yeah.
I was like, I actually had to park outside of the village because all of the roads into Hett were too narrow to fit a truck down.
Oh, shit.
They are a tad overgrown for summer at the moment. You've got to bear in mind.
No, don't make your excuses.
Yeah,
Peel back the shrubs to get through to Hett.
Have to come through the cupboard. It's like going to Narnia.
Yeah.
Hazel
Except
and a
not
couple
as
of friends
much
are.
fun.
Hazel and a couple
Just
of
push
friends
Hazel
are
out the way and
trip.
nudge past her.
Oh god, is that gonna become like a new pilgrimage for the show?
So
Please don't. I'm going to rename my house the Saviour Cottage.
Sealed pilgrimage.
Please do.
Oh, guys, guess what?
What?
Crystal
What?
exists.
I don't know about that. I feel like Dan drugged you.
Nah,
Well-
my hallucinogenic drugs in the atmosphere paid off.
Well, the one thing that's making me think that it could be an hallucinogenic gas was the fact that it was fucking sweltering out and Dan wouldn't open any windows whilst we were there. So,
Oh my god.
I didn't notice. Mike
just
didn't
sitting
say
there
anything.
dripping.
He's too polite. He didn't say anything. He just sat there, kept playing Guitar Hero with broken
Sweating.
controllers.
look like I'm drenched next to him. You're right there, Mike. Yeah, fine.
Positively British.
My skin is cooking and starting to peel away, but I'm okay.
No, but it was lovely.
But
And thank you
Crystal-
very much for
Crystal
having
does
me.
exist.
It's all right.
She's lovely. I approve, Daniel.
Thank you. I'm glad you like my hallucinogenic girlfriend.
Wink,
Who
wink.
may or may not exist. Just like Tom in that respect, actually. I'm convinced Tom is still a shared lucid dream kind of thing going on. You know, like Vanilla Sky. That film.
I remember.
Yeah.
What did we go to in London?
I don't know. There might,
Jesus.
there might have just been some fat guy sat there, or he might have just been sat on a settee. Why are all these people sitting in my room?
Yelling pinkies up every time there's a siren.
That man is still traumatized.
Oh God.
No, it was good for Mike to do the pilgrimage to Hett. I feel like everybody needs to do it at some point.
See, we're planning another trip to Europe next summer, and I'm trying to convince Christy that we should forego Italy and Rome and go to Hett.
Good idea. We've got lots here. I mean, you could go.
Do you have
You
a
could go
Colosseum?
see all this. Yes, we do.
It's a village holiday fight.
It's the village hall.
It's time for the annual over 60s combat arena challenge.
Release the lions!
Our
It's
village
time.
is becoming too crowded. One comes in, one must go out.
in the blue corner, we've got an 88-year-old woman.
Ready for her bridge tournament.
She is going up against Esmeralda. She's deadly with some dominoes.
They call her the Blue Rinse Meanie.
I wouldn't mind a Colosseum in Hett. That would be fun.
There's plenty of grass space for tents, so...
I know, right? I feel like we need Hett Festival.
So my question to you during
Festival.
that video was, you have all the land in the world, and you still put your houses
Eric,
2 inches apart.
Yeah, but the point is, right, these houses weren't built when I was alive. I have no input into this.
Well, I didn't say
That's
you
just not
did.
enough.
I didn't physically go to Hett and build my cottage.
But somebody at some point went there first, and then the next person that showed up went, hey, that's a great house. I'm going to put it touching yours.
If you'd read your Hett Happenings, you'd know all about the rivalry
Oh, God,
between
speaking of Hett Happenings.
Giles and...
The real Hett happenings or the Zach Foley.
Oh, God. You guys have got to go onto our Facebook page and read those. Those are just gold. So Zach
I appreciate them a lot.
Zach has taken different events from our show and pushed them into a Hett Happenings newsletter of his own.
My favourite one was the one about me where it says local man's wife goes missing, says she's out. It's just got a picture of me in black and white looking like I'm distressed, staring off into space.
I like the one that... I like the one where Zach took me in the show choir with a microphone. And he's like, holy shit, Mormons!
I do love a bit of show choir.
Oh, dear.
Oh,
I think
man,
you
how
also.
about-
I think you also need to go on the Facebook group this week purely for our childhood photos, which were just absolute gold.
I'm sorry
yeah.
about that. I had to share those out.
Oh man, I don't care. They were so funny. Yours, I honestly can't look at it without creasing up.
I was attractive.
You really weren't.
Hey.
Just for the benefit of those who aren't on the Facebook community, Eric's picture, right? I don't know what is it from, Eric?
It's
is it
from
some
my
yearbook or
freshman year
something?
of track. It was my track
Oh my god,
photo.
he's got this like track jersey on, and he just looks completely calm. He's got really bad haircut, which he's dyed ginger.
He looks like Napoleon Dynamite.
I mean, don't get me wrong, ours aren't anything special anyway. I mean, Ragsy's is utterly terrifying.
Oh yes. It is pretty
Tom's
scary.
right. Tom's right. He's got longer hair than he does now, and it's bleach blonde. And somehow, by a turn of fate, in the photograph, his eyes have turned red.
And he's got that
smile as
shitty
wide as
grin
Heath
on, like
Ledger.
I'm gonna do something dirty to you.
He looks like he's about to kill you.
No.
Mike, what the hell phase did you go through during this? Because that doesn't
What
look
you-
anything
what
like you.
Oh.
I had those like proper gelled like Ben from A1 curtains, didn't I?
Yeah, bad times.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, mine's not
fashionable
exactly
back
a
then.
picture like, but
You look so fucking emo
I know, right?
with your sleeveless top.
That's amazing.
Dan's picture is the actual true visualization of his phrase. What?
It is definitely. I
Yeah.
like the edit I made to yours, Eric, about Mega Man.
Form an old lick, you ladies, and I will tell you about Mega Man. Well, I don't know what kicked this off. I think Mike sent some random picture, and then I was at the same time digging through photo albums and came across some old pictures of myself. I'm like, oh god, we got to do this.
Oh, it's because Tom sent something about a picture to us that was something about it being really 90s, and I said, if you want 90s, check out my haircut, and I sent it.
Oh. That's right. There was just some kid playing driver in his bedroom with posters of Avril Lavigne and stuff. Yeah. It was just 90s encapsulated in one photo, and so we all started sharing really awful pictures of each other.
So yes, we have not always been as attractive as we are now.
Yeah, I feel like we've got hotter with age.
Bundle.
That'll be global climate. That'll be climate change. That then.
Yeah.
We all need to recreate our photos. I've already done mine.
Did you guys see the picture that Maddie Hallmark made of Tom putting his face over that Kissing Darkness logo?
Yes.
I don't think I've seen that.
Oh god, Tom.
Have you not? Even Kat's seen it.
Brace yourself. Guys, if there's one thing I've learned about Aoyamis, is he goes missing for a long period of time and misses everything.
All Maddie did was post it with "Gay guys."
Oh, I think I did see it. I did, but I need to look for it again.
Oh god, it's so disturbing.
Is it over a Is it a picture of a band or something?
I'm pretty sure it's a gay porn.
Oh. Nice.
I think
Excellent.
we can Google it.
I've probably got a really good body then.
Well, you do, yeah.
Excellent.
Several college guys grow bored with gay life in Los Angeles and skip Gay Pride weekend to go camping in the woods. That is the synopsis of Kissing Darkness. They start a game which attracts the attention of a local spirit that feeds on broken hearts.
Oh, God.
Sounds riveting.
Not my cup of tea.
No, not quite. So yeah, that was
Nice.
It's all happening on the Facebook community, guys.
it's where you gotta be. It's been
okay,
really,
yeah.
really active the past couple weeks.
Oh, yeah.
Real quick, I
It's
have
got
to
to the stage where we don't even have to post the stupid shit. You guys do it for us.
It's like we're having an effect on people. It's dangerous.
It's worrying.
I just have to say thanks to everybody really quick. At the end of the last show, I kind of shared some stuff that's going on in my life, and just kind of the support from the group and everybody that had reached out and replied to that and sent me personal messages was really helpful. So I just want to say thanks to everybody who took the time to post something about that.
You're welcome.
Not you, though. I'm not thanking you.
Oh, right.
There was fine print with that said, everyone except Dan Curtis. And if you slow down the track, you can actually hear me say it under my breath.
Subliminal messages are
Wow,
fun.
that's a skill.
I know. You know what else is a skill, Dan? Stretching your games to fit 16 by 9 constantly.
Oh.
I was playing
beautiful.
an old 1990s PC game yesterday called Baldur's Gate. You may have heard of it. And
No, I've never heard of that one.
you should.
What?
I'm kidding.
I have an ultra wide monitor, and I have a new challenge for you. And I'm thinking, man, Dan would love this. I took that game and stretched the shit out of it to fit 21 by 9. I'm like, Dan would love
how it
this.
should have played. How it should have been played.
Yeah, all the way.
Yeah, that picture is terrifying. Thanks, Mike. It's just shared the
yes.
Kissing Darkness thing in our Discord chat.
I did. I did see that.
That's just staring into my soul now. I'm going to have to open a different window.
Wait, the windows at your place open?
Yes, actually. I've actually got it open right now.
Oh. Treating yourself, are you?
I was talking about a PC window, though.
Oh, we get some of that Hett air.
You can smell the manure from here.
I didn't smell any manure when I was there.
It's because the windows are closed.
That's because you stank, because you were sweating too much.
Yeah. God damn it, Daniel.
Guys, last week. No, was it last week or 2 weeks ago?
All right.
2 weeks ago?
Rally-ho!
3 weeks ago. E3 happened.
What happened?
E3. I feel like we should talk about E3 because we did a bunch of predictions on E3.
Resident Evil 2 remake, motherfucker! Yes!
No Final Fantasy 7 remake, motherfucker!
What was that?
But
What the fuck was that?
That was noise.
damn it.
You all right there?
Oh, we've lost him. We've lost him.
That's probably your best fart noise yet.
Don't feel like that's saying much.
No, note down the date, Daniel. 1st of July, 2018.
Impressed.
I made a good fart noise this show.
Yeah, so E3 happened, and
Resident Evil 2 remake.
it was kind of as a whole, it was kind of a lackluster E3.
Yeah, I
Aside
thought it was a
from
bit pants this year.
a couple things.
1 out of 5 stars.
It was
It was shit.
It wasn't shit. I thought it was alright. They just announced a lot of it beforehand, so there wasn't a lot of surprises.
Sony
and I think
conference-
a lot of people... Sorry, go on.
The Sony conference lacked that pizzazz.
I feel like Sony's like they've got to the top now, and they're not maintaining the ball rolling, and they're kind of stepping back a bit.
Resting
I mean?
on their laurels slightly.
Yes,
I don't know, 'cause
that's
they've
the
still
word.
got quite a few exclusives and stuff coming
Oh,
up.
they
I
do,
mean-
but I just feel like the whole there's few roar about the whole the crossplayer thing where Sony
they're
won't.
fucking that up, they are.
I feel like people are making a bigger deal out of that than it really needs to be.
Yeah, me too.
Well, it's not the crossplay that's the problem with Fortnite, it's the cross progression. Basically, if you connect your Epic account to the PlayStation at any point, it's then locked to your PlayStation. So if you've made progress even on PC or your Switch or your Xbox or your phone, and then log into the PS4 afterwards, it's then locked to your PS4. You then can't go back. That's what the fuck up is. It's not necessarily the crossplay.
Oh,
So
Jesus.
let me just pose a question here. How many people is that truly affecting? How many people bounce between 4 different systems?
Well, the thing is, when you go... Now that it's got mobile and it's got Switch, a lot of people are playing this on the go. The mobile version's huge. Absolutely huge. So for a lot of people...
So anyone
I
who
would imagine-
started it on PS4 can't switch their account.
No, that's right. And then also, like I said, if you start it on something else and then go to your PS4, you then can't come back off the PS4.
There's
Interesting.
a simple solution, guys. Just go play a better game.
And
I haven't played it enough to comment.
That may
I
be-
had a quick couple of goes, but...
that may be the comment that gets Dan his own personal review.
Yeah, maybe. you can't deny it's probably the biggest game in the world right now.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
It's
it
just
is,
not
but
my jam.
It's not my jam either.
I feel like 10 years ago it may have been, but it's just not.
It's not my jelly either.
It's perhaps my marmalade or my preserves, but not my jam.
It's my lemon curd.
Lemon curd.
It's my fig preserve bought from the village hall in Hett.
It's my bramble jam.
It's my hoisin sauce.
It's shit. That's what it is.
It's not shit. Don't be that harsh. It's,
I've
it's
not
not for us,
played
is
it.
it?
It's not
we're
shit.
not the
It's
demographic
okay.
for it.
Yeah,
It's
we definitely
okay.
are not.
I don't want to sound like old men yelling at clouds. It's just not for us.
Damn kids and their Fortnite.
The cassette tapes and the rock music.
You wanted to see me try to describe it to Crystal a few weeks ago. She was like, "What is Fortnite?" And I was like, "Is it about 2 weeks?" And I was like, "No."
Crystal, bless your heart.
Then I started explaining it, and she quickly lost interest.
She's like, "Oh, it's a video game."
But back to E3. Ghost of Tsushima looked good.
Game looks
Yeah, it does.
fantastic.
Yeah. Last of Us 2.
yeah.
I mean, I don't need to see any more Last of Us 2. I'll be getting it, but
They announced
What?
Nioh
Looked
2. Dan,
amazing.
have you heard of Nioh 1?
I have heard of Nioh
You should
1.
play Nioh 1.
I have.
Oh, yeah?
I haven't finished it. It's a very long game.
It is. I didn't finish
No,
it either.
but a lot longer than you think, Eric. Like you probably did a good chunk of it, but it's a lot longer even than that.
It just kind of lacked that hook for me. It was just more of the Souls game. And I think this came out close to Dark Souls 3? Maybe?
I can't remember.
Very close.
Yeah.
I think it's worth a second punt, Eric. I think it's quite good.
Like a desert punt?
Yes. Did they show any gameplay or just a trailer? I didn't think I saw the trailer.
There's a trailer.
Yeah, but is it
Eric,
just a cinematic trailer or is it gameplay?
I don't know. I didn't watch it.
Well, you should know.
I hope
There
this
wasn't
is
any gameplay.
I hope that's the actual Link and not the Kissing Darkness trailer.
Did you play the first one, Eric?
Yes, I did, Dan. I mean, Tom. Sorry, it's still so damn early.
Has anybody heard of Persona 5?
How about a particularly blue-clad bomber?
Oh, God. Never heard of him.
He's got a few games coming out this year.
A few?
He does.
Did you guys
What
watch
else?
the Resident Evil 2 remake as it was being announced?
Yes.
No,
Oh,
I missed
man.
the conference.
Tom and I were doing live blogging through our WhatsApp chat, just seeing how many messages we could get Mike and Dan to wake up to. I think one night we crested 500.
Yeah, you did.
yeah, I've been replaced
I
for
do
Eric's
think- I do
overnight
think-
messaging.
Yeah, I do think there's 1 year we need to all get together for E3 and just have a stupid video where we react to what happens. It would
Oh,
just
yeah.
be hilarious.
It was
We could do it in
insane.
Het.
We could,
No,
not
Rent
on
out
this
the village
not
hall.
on this reliable internet connection.
no. I remember watching this as it was being announced. Tom and I were trying to figure out what the hell it was. We're like, this can't be it. What the fuck? What is this? And just as they're going through, because it didn't look like Resident Evil 2, but it kind of had that same feel to it.
It was Rat Simulator.
Yeah,
And it didn't look like Leon at first.
it still doesn't. I went back and looked at that. It doesn't look like Leon,
Yeah.
and it doesn't look like Claire,
Yeah,
which is kind of a drop
Leon.
ball.
Leon looked like a bunch of pixels in Resident Evil 2.
No, but you have.
He looks like
FMVs.
that's your favorite picture of Squall, where it says you're the best looking guy here. That's what Leon looked like.
Yeah, but then they did him up in Resident Evil 4.
Yeah,
Oh, and they
but-
have the FMVs as well,
Yeah.
where he's pre-rendered. So we
still.
all know what Leon kind of looks like, but that new guy, that ain't my Leon.
I guess
hear
I
me?
can learn to love him.
I guess I could learn to love him.
Don't do me wrong, Leon.
I actually
Sounds
watched
good.
I watched a gameplay walkthrough of it, and it actually plays different how some of the things are done and things like
Which is
that. There's
good.
new cutscenes, new puzzles, that kind of stuff.
So it's not just an actual remake. Like, they've rebuilt it.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
the liquor doesn't show up in the right place.
What I'm curious to know is if they're still going to keep it structured the same as the original, where you have Leon's playthrough, Claire's playthrough, and then once you beat each of those, you can do the reverse of, what Leon is doing during Claire's, and then what Claire is doing during Leon's.
No, they've already said it doesn't.
Oh,
They've got a
Boo.
different way of doing it. Like, it's more interconnected. I get the impression, don't hold me to this, I could be wrong, I get the impression that it could be a possibility of taking control of them at different parts throughout the campaign.
I guess
I'm
that'd be
okay with
fine
that.
if they're bouncing back and forth instead of leaving it as a lockable. But I wonder if they're going to have those.
And there'll be bits, I think there's going to be bits where they're actually together as well.
How about, do you think they're going to keep the secret character, Mr. Tofu?
I think they've said they're going to.
Well, that's actually just a secret game mode, survivor mode, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Tofu Survivor.
Yeah.
What did we all think of Death Stranding?
That game's fucking weird.
Still got no idea what it really is.
I know he's known for being weird and out there, but my god, he's on another level with this one.
At least they actually showed gameplay.
Yeah, walking simulator.
My favourite.
At the same time, I am
was Norman
really
Reedus'
excited for
butt
it.
simulator.
Norman Reedus with a fetus.
Yeah.
Supposedly, Norman Reedus has actually said, I have no idea what's going on in this game. I've seen the script and I still have no idea what's going on.
All I know is that he carries around a fetus in a jar that gives him power. That's all I took away from it.
I think he's a delivery man of some sort.
Yeah.
Because in
Like a
the
postal
trailer,
worker?
he's carrying around loads of different boxes and things on his back.
UPS simulator.
Yeah.
No, but yeah, I think basically the world's gone to shit and no babies must be born or something, and that must be a new baby which has to be delivered somewhere.
Well, they said there was a part of the trailer where someone mentioned time and being in and out of time, and there's a lot of fan theories going around that the baby is actually... Because Norman Reedus' character is called Sam, I think. And
Sam Bridges, I believe.
That's it, yeah. And there's all these fan theories that the baby is him.
See, there's something in it called Timefall, which when you go in it, makes time go really fast or something.
Your cuckoo clock falls over.
Yes, and then there's these weird shadow men for reasons, and there's stuff, and that's it
But the
really.
bit where you saw in the gameplay when he was walking, it reminded me of Metal Gear Solid 5. And
Yeah, it's very similar.
I'm pleased with that. Yeah, I'm happy with that.
Oh, you met me with it. Oh, you met me.
How about Kingdom Hearts 3?
Yeah, I'm still jazzed.
Kingdom Hearts 3. That game looks so good.
What really drew me in with this is how different the game looks from world to world. I didn't play Kingdom Hearts 2, believe it or not, but all the way back to the first one, it's just you're going to the different worlds and they all just kind of feel the same. They have the same rendering style. But in this one, like Pirates of the Caribbean, it looks super realistic, and then boom, you jump into Toy Story and it's like you're in Toy Story. So taking that extra step to just make the game look completely different. It's like you're playing a bunch of different games all in one.
I would argue that the Toy Story world in it looks better than the original movie, like Toy Story 1. Not necessarily 3, but in terms of how it looks better than...
sure
I
it
know that was like 1995 that came out, I think it was?
98?
95.
Was it?
Yeah.
Let's look.
It was no later than 96.
Well, Toy Story was kind of the
It was
benchmark of where
95.
people thought games would
Yeah.
get to. So it's interesting now that we've got a game that looks as good as Toy Story.
Yeah.
And yeah, but like Eric says, the worlds look amazing. They've got that Disney aesthetic down so much, and the detail is just incredible. And it has a similar battle system to Kingdom Hearts 3D, which came out for 3DS, and that was a really good battle system. So,
I've still yet to play a Kingdom Hearts game, so I'm considering getting Kingdom Hearts 2.8 Final 2 Prologue Birth by Sleep 36 and a third,
Death by Sleep.
whatever it's called.
Is that the
That
PS4?
that title
with
is actually
Resident
accurate.
Evil?
I think there's going to be a giant
PS4
bundle
one,
kit
yeah.
that comes out with every game on the PS4 in the next few months, maybe?
I'd buy it.
You could play them all back to back, and you still wouldn't have any idea what's going on.
We should tackle Kingdom Hearts one day. It'll be a fucking shit show in terms of trying to figure out what's going on, but we should do
Yeah,
it.
but Eric wouldn't be able to speak about it because he wouldn't be able to open it.
Well,
It'd have to be.
I would
like,
buy
when
another copy.
Oh,
And it's only Kingdom Hearts 2 he hasn't opened.
Yeah. Come on, Dan. Give me some credit here.
such a good
Credit!
game. My God,
Damn
it's
it.
gonna be one of them shows, isn't it?
Sorry.
How did we all feel about Nintendo's presentation?
Well, wait, hold on. We're still talking about Sony
Okay.
stuff, aren't we? Did we mention anything about Last of Us 2?
Yes, we
I
said
said
it
it looked
briefly.
good.
Yeah.
That's all. That's
Oh,
all you need
well,
to
if
know.
you said
really.
it looked good, then let's move on.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
I'm sold.
Yeah.
I don't need to see anymore. I'm getting it.
Spider-Man looked okay.
Ah, it looks the tits.
Press
Spider-Man's
play.
going to be amazing.
If there's one developer they could have give that to do it well, it's Insomniac.
It looks like it's going to be the Arkham version of Spider-Man, and I am okay with that. I am perfectly fine with that. I listened to some like other podcasts and stuff that actually got gameplay, and they said, yeah, the battle system is basically Batman. Yes, Eric, you just press square all the time.
Good, occasionally triangle.
Yeah, but they just said it feels so good, and I'm happy with that.
That's out in September, right?
Yep,
Yes.
Pre-ordered, son.
I'll probably buy it. Reluctant.
Do a Spider-Man game.
Buy another controller to replace my square button.
Just buy Red Dead 2.
I'll buy Red Dead 2.
Oh yeah, I forgot that's coming out because
Nothing
Rockstar
was
always
showed on
skips
that,
3
obviously.
Yeah, I can't wait for that.
What's really weird to me is that everybody came out of E3 kind of praising Microsoft, yet Microsoft didn't really announce much.
Yeah, they showed a lot of games, but nothing really exclusive.
Exclusive.
World premiere.
World premiere.
They need to stop doing that. It's a joke now. They don't have any games.
The next water cooler.
Well, to be honest, there's one that they did show that actually kind of got me a little bit tingly in the goody parts.
Battletoads.
That,
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
but Halo Infinite. I know, but it goes back to Master Chief and just seeing him on the Halo worlds, and just it brought me back to being a kid.
I never got the Halo hype.
It brought me
Me
back
neither.
to when I was a kid and had red hair and wore track pants.
That's what they're trying to do.
I'm trying to bring me back to those days.
They're trying to reach into guys like you, bring you back over to the green box.
Oh yeah.
Come
The
back
thing
to
is,
the
right,
chief.
Giving Xbox credit where credit is due.
Credit?
In terms in terms of like their actual services they're providing, they're shitting over PlayStation. They just have no games for it. So like the Game Pass, which now has all their exclusives on straight away, and the backwards compatibility that they're constantly working on. You know, it in terms of those services is great, but they just haven't got the games to back it up at the moment. I want them to succeed, but
I agree. The Game Pass is exceptional
Yeah.
value for money.
I don't think they're going to claw it back this generation, and they're obviously putting the work in for the next generation. They bought those, was it 5 different studios they bought?
Yeah, but
one being Ninja Theory, which were the I can't remember the name of the game
Hellblade,
now.
Senua's Sacrifice.
Hellblade, that's it.
But Microsoft has a
And-
reputation for buying studios and just running them into the ground.
I suppose.
Chiefs purchase all the best studios and have them disappear.
But people will have to buy our games. It's brilliant.
Although speaking of the Game Pass, there's a rumor going around, very very heavy rumor, that apparently the PlayStation Now service will. The rumor is it will happen around September, but apparently the PlayStation Now service might be adding a feature where you can actually download them and play them offline.
Ooh. Now that
They
would
need
be
to bring those prices down, though, son.
It'll just be PS4 to start with, the rumor is, but if it goes well, obviously they can add older games. It's just a rumor at the moment, so take that with a pinch of salt.
taken.
Salted.
I've pinched your salt.
Tom,
Yes.
talk to me about Cyberpunk.
Oh my word! I know I'm not Tom. But
Got to me
Oh,
all good.
Cyberpunk is probably the game I'm most looking forward to that was shown on E3. That game looks stellar.
CD Projekt Red is,
and we
just-
didn't see
yeah.
any gameplay.
No, that's the thing. We just had about a 2.5, 3 minute trailer, maybe.
Oh,
But what I was not expecting, first-person shooter.
yeah.
Yes.
How weird is that? And apparently there are rumors or speculation that this is also going to be somewhat loosely tied into the world of Witcher, or have some Witcher references, because it's been a while since I've played it, but isn't there a part where what's her name? Cyril is gone and comes back and talks about having visited a land with buildings made of glass and all this
I think
other
this
stuff.
was just a theory, Eric, but I think
Oh.
CD Projekt Red said that no, that's not going to happen.
Because how cool would that be if you're walking down the street and you see like a modernized or futuristic version of Siri? And
There was
they could do it, a reference, I guess.
yeah,
There was a behind closed doors actual gameplay demo for like journalists and press and stuff like that, and all reports coming from that seem to be positive.
did they?
Yeah, but the game is pre-alpha, so you're talking
Yeah.
years yet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll probably get two more E3s.
You're talking
out of this.
PS5, probably.
I don't know.
reckon?
It could be the swan song for the PS4.
Yeah.
I reckon generational gap kind of release where it comes out for both.
I reckon 2020.
That's a good estimate.
And
Like
I reckon
full
2,382 for the Final Fantasy VII remake.
How annoying is that there's nothing? What is this? Our fourth E3 now with nothing?
I thought by now this E3 they would have something to show this year. I don't know if maybe they just wanted to focus on Kingdom Hearts because it's next year. But
Well, the guy who's directing Kingdom Hearts and Final Fantasy VII, he's doing both of them. I've just said that. Now that Kingdom Hearts is coming out, he can focus all his attention on Final Fantasy VII.
yeah,
so
but then
hopefully
they
we might-
released a statement saying, you know what? Maybe we announced Final Fantasy VII too early.
You think?
But it kind of got to a point, though, where everybody within the industry was starting to hear that this was happening, so they wanted to get out ahead of it and announce it themselves instead of having it leak out. Because how anticlimactic would that be? That's like, yep, inside sources say this is working, yep, confirmed, and then just Sony doesn't say anything about it. I'd rather have them do it the way they did.
I don't know. I still would have, even if there was rumors of it, I still would have blown my load when that trailer came out.
that
Along with the
E3
release
was just
date.
amazing. It was so good. There's still the PlayStation Experience at the end of the year. They have done a trailer before at the PlayStation Experience. So
How about Sekiro Shadows Die Twice? The makers of
oh
Dark
yeah,
Souls.
from Software.
And apparently FromSoft is doing a PSVR game.
Yeah, as well. I heard that.
It's going to be a kind of a stark departure called...
You know what, Eric?
Deracine? What?
I really like the look of this Shadows Die Twice thing.
It looks real
but-
cool.
It does, but I kind of want a Bloodborne 2. So I'm a little bit disappointed.
I tell you, the one game that actually got me really excited about the Xbox was a skateboarding game called Session.
Oh yeah, I thought that was Skate 4.
I was going to be real mad if that was Skate 4. They're like, Xbox exclusive. God damn it, I got to go buy an Xbox.
It's a spiritual successor to Skate, isn't it?
It looks
That's
like
what
it,
I read.
but damn it, it looks good.
Yeah, and it'll... yeah.
Don't know,
And it's not gonna
I'm
be-
kind of over the skateboarding game thing now.
What did you guys think of Devil May Cry 5?
Oh yeah,
I think it looks
I
like
forgot
shit.
they heard it. I miss the old Devil May Cries.
Yeah, this one kind of went back to the just obnoxious, over-the-top heavy
Yeah.
metal.
Can we do
See,
the original for the show? Because I've never played them.
Oh, yeah.
I have-
we should.
Oh, yes,
See,
definitely.
I really liked DMC, the reboot. I thought it was really good.
Those first three on PS2 are brilliant.
Oh, yeah. There was, no, Devil May Cry 3, they ended up having to release a second version of it that gave you the option to make it easier.
Oh, I don't remember that.
Yeah, something about a Dan joke there. You all missed it. Well done.
No, see,
You were
we've done
straight
it
in
so
there.
often that you now just start to think of it. We've implanted that. So you're making jokes
All
about
right.
yourself for us.
Thank you. Very kind.
This is going back to Sony a little bit, but are you leading up to E3? Sony did like a few announcements over 7 days, and one of them was the actual Days Gone release date, which is early next year. Is it January, February? I can't remember. Are you guys
Oh, yeah.
bothered?
I'm so
I think
excited
that
for
looks
Days
alright.
Gone. Yeah, I'm really excited for it. I don't know why, it just looks cool.
And they showed Beat Saber footage, and still no fucking release date for PSVR.
Oh, that looks
I want Beat
amazing.
Saber so
I
badly.
tell you what,
Oh,
you know what other PSVR game I'm looking forward to, Mike?
Go on.
Tetris.
Oh yeah, it does look like fun.
Oh.
So I bought PSVR since the last show.
Got it?
And, got it! And been shitting my pants at Resident Evil 7. But
So, was I wrong in my evaluation that it's worth buying?
no, you weren't wrong. at all. I'm having a lot of fun with it. A few of our friends keep coming around, and we keep like playing Super Hot and stuff like that together. It's such good fun. I'm glad I invested. Definitely.
You need to, when you get a chance, pick up Moss. It will be the best VR experience.
Well, if I have people around who have never played VR before, the first thing I'm doing is there was an initial. Do you remember the very, very first trailer for Resident Evil 7? It was just called Kitchen.
Yeah.
Not the beginning hour demo that came out, the Kitchen demo.
Yeah.
That was basically just a little kind of 2-minute VR experience. The first thing, which is fucking terrifying. It was the first thing I did when I got my VR. And the first thing I'm doing when people come round and they haven't played VR is I put them on that.
Oh, man.
Oh, my God. Mike, is this what you told me where the hands come over your face
Over
from
your
behind
face
you?
and everything, yeah.
Oh, my God.
Like, one of my friends, Tom, he'd never done VR before, and I'm not kidding, he was actually screaming. Like, we were all sat around him, had him in the middle of the room. I had him sat down in the middle of the room. He was playing it. He was there going, ah, ah, then like nervously laughing. They're just going, ah.
Oh my God!
It is such a terrifying game.
One of his buddies came round the other day. One of his buddies came round Friday night, and he'd done a little bit of VR before, but nothing with horror. And I got him to do it. Now I don't partake, but he was a little bit stoned, and he got to the title screen and went nah, and took it off.
It's like Dan when he did Until Dawn.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yep. The spider aliens on Farpoint were bad enough when they were jumping at your face. It was horrible.
But to answer your question, Tom, basically the entire demo is you're sat on a chair in the middle of a room, and there's a guy next to you on the floor and your hands are tied. So you hold the PlayStation control, but it's like your hands are tied. And literally the only action you do in it is you knock this camera over with the controller, like as if your hands are tied, and knock the camera.
Yeah.
And then the guy comes up, tries to cut you, and there's the character from Resident Evil 7, is it Mia? She comes in and starts like attacking him, and she kills him in front of you. Then she disappears, and you can hear her wandering around behind you, and she runs in front of you and stuff. And then it goes all quiet, and then eventually like the fingers just come around the front of your face. Oh, like
Jesus!
I'm feeling horrible just thinking about it. It's amazing, but it's horrible.
Jesus.
How about
that's not for me. Thanks.
how about that Bethesda conference?
Oh yeah, forgot about them.
Their
didn't see the
conference
actual
was
conference.
probably one of my favorite, mainly because Bethesda never takes themselves too seriously, and they've kind of been caught up in some drama this year and had a lot of their really big games released, and they just kind of took it all in stride, particularly with Rage 2, where I think it was Pete Hines came out on stage. And he's like, all right, let's look at a game we announced a couple weeks ago thanks to our friends at Walmart Canada, who are best known for their low prices and ability to keep a secret.
So
And then Rage came out. I'm looking forward to Rage 2. I think it looks like a ton of fun.
That does actually look really good. I remember we all watching it live.
The first Rage was... eh.
You know what I'm really not hyped about? New Fallout.
I'm not... Yeah.
No. Not at all.
I mean, if it was...
Except for the
just
fact that
another
1776... Actually, what is it,
Yeah.
2076? Yeah.
Fallout
Yeah.
76 or something.
Get it, Dan, because
I
that's
was-
300 years after 1776, which is when
I
America
don't know
broke
why that's
away
important.
from England.
Dan,
No, I don't know what you're talking about. Sorry.
Did you ever play Elder Scrolls Online?
No.
Nobody shares that meme of that old lady looking at a computer all the time.
Oh, yes. A classic. Never
is
gets
good.
old. I just don't want a Fallout MMO. I just
don't want an MMO. I understand people are going to lose their minds over this. It's probably going to be super cool, but there are some really cool aspects to it, like how you can build your base and pick it up and move it wherever you want to, and kind of create this little community, but then you can go get a nuke and just destroy somebody. I think it'll be
You can
cool.
play it
Oh,
single
yeah.
player, though, right?
What's that, Dan?
You can play it single player.
Yeah.
Eh.
Yeah, they kind of tried to, like, Todd Howard tried to stress that single player wasn't going anywhere and that they still cared a lot about the single player experience. But I think it's going to be something that you really benefit from playing with others, just like all of these things. Because
I
then
admire
you
them
can
for
quest
trying
together
something
and
new, I guess. But at the same
Yeah.
time, I would personally prefer just another Fallout. Like
The
a New
map is-
Vegas kind of style one.
The map is supposedly 4 times bigger than the Fallout 4 map, which, great, yeah, it gets people hyped up. Oh, the map's so big, but as long as there's something in it, if it's just a barren map, there's no point.
Michael Tyson is right.
The thing I enjoyed the most about the Bethesda conference is how they knew what everybody was waiting for, and they just kind of kept baiting you on it and then giving you something different, making you think like, oh, shit. Like when Todd Howard came out, everybody's like, all right, here we go. We're going to hear some Elder Scrolls stuff. And he goes through a few different things, and then he announces Elder Scrolls Blades, where you can play a whole game on your phone. And everyone's like, this isn't what we wanted.
And the Alexa thing as well.
Oh, God, that was funny. They're
That's
talking
a real
about
game.
the Skyrim special or the extra special edition, and they had that video of Key from Key and Peele, where he's playing Skyrim on his Alexa. And I didn't think it was real, and then I read something about it, and I installed it on my Alexa, and I'm laying in bed while Christy's getting ready for bed, talking to Alexa, playing Skyrim.
It's so good. That was really good.
Yeah.
I'm intrigued by this Starfield project they've got going on.
That's at least 10 years away. Oh, man.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh.
but get this, they announced Elder Scrolls 6 as well, and they announced that is after Starfield, so if that's 10 years away, then
Yeah,
how long
but the
is
fact
that?
that they have now acknowledged that it exists publicly. There's that interview where Todd
interesting,
Howard
though.
was talking to his son, and like he we knew it was in the works, but for them to come out and actually announce it,
Interesting for
That's what I
Bethesda
want.
to do that, though, because traditionally they've just announced a game. Like, the last Fallout was announced, and it came out in about 4 months. So,
I think they were getting sick of people asking about it. But based
Yeah,
on that,
probably.
it was just a very quick little flyover title screen, and that's all it was. But I have no idea where it's going to be set. I thought for sure it would have gone to some place like Elsewhere or Black
No.
Marsh.
spoilers, it's in Hett.
It could be. It is.
My house is in there as a dungeon.
You start in the little hall, the village hall.
All the steps in your house are a hazard.
Anything else from
young
E3
man,
we
we've
want to...
heard rumours of a saviour in the cottage.
You wanted to touch on Nintendo, Eric, didn't you?
Oh, yeah. What did
That was
they
a,
announce?
that was a whole lot of Smash.
Yeah, it was. Ooh, that was, what, 45 minutes of Smash?
Oh my god, I was
Pretty much.
waiting for it to end. I mean, Smash is alright, but my god, that was a long video.
Smash Brothers Ultimate. It's,
Are you excited, Eric? You're probably the biggest Smash player out of all of us.
Yeah, I'm real excited. I don't know who I'm necessarily going to play it with. It'll probably just have to be a community thing. So I'm still going to get it.
I'll probably get it, maybe.
But Dan, that would require you to buy it.
I know. I want whatchamacallit? I really wanted to have a single player mode like the Wii version did, because I really enjoyed that. But I don't think it will.
I'm most excited for the fact that Snake is back without his massive butt. But he's also being voiced by David Hayter
Yay.
for the first
Our
time in
old
what,
friend.
8 years?
Friend of the show.
Friend of the show.
Hayter.
Back in Smash.
Where'd my butt go? People were making such a stink about that because when he was in the Smash Brothers Brawl, you know, a very
Oh, yeah.
defined rear end, and now it's just kind of this flat little pancake ass.
You know those images they always share from Smash where it's like people enter the arena and stuff like that, where it's like colours and then it's got the text on. You know those?
Yeah.
Imagine if it just said Soulite Snack brings the tasty treats.
Vulcan raisins.
Oh, God.
No, but overall, pretty lackluster E3 for me.
I don't know. They announced Elder Scrolls 6. That's all I wanted.
I just wanted Final Fantasy 7.
Yeah, you're not getting it.
I want it.
No.
I want it.
Speaking of Final Fantasy.
Ah.
Oh, segue.
Do I get the segue?
Oh, sick.
Oh. Oh, dear. I'm sorry.
God.
It just
Chickens from Stranger's Wrath make a return once more.
Kind of drift into it. We are continuing. We're kind of on a time frame here. Tom has about another hour-ish.
Yeah.
You're not going to finish the show with us, that's for sure.
No, that's fine. That's okay.
Yeah.
Jeeves is running his bath already. Tom has to go on the dot.
Yeah, an hour-long bath. That's good.
Soak.
Just filling the pool.
Jeeves finally managed shipping over Tom's summer house from England.
Filling the pool. Jeez, put more soap in. It's not bubbly enough.
Jeez.
Jeeves is brick by brick bringing Tom's house over.
I like to create a bubble beard whilst in the bath, Jeeves. You know this.
So we've used 12 bottles for this one bath.
Jeeves, my willy won't wash itself.
Oh.
That's right, under the foreskin.
Oh, under the foreskin. Oh, don't neglect the balls, Jeeves.
Fetch the gooch scrubber.
Jeeves, tickle my
God's
fun
sake.
bridge while you're down there.
Fun bridge.
Yeah, it's my fleshy fun bridge.
Oh my god.
Brilliant. Oh, I hope Zach Foley's next Hett happenings involves a fun bridge
That gets its own fleshy fun bridge.
over the duck pond.
You okay, Dan?
No.
No.
Actual tears.
We've lost him.
Oh
What set you off?
God. What?
What set you off? The fun bridge?
Tom, don't neglect the balls, Jeeves. Then Fleshy Funbridge was just the cherry on top.
That's only if you've got whipped cream on the fun bridge.
And we're calm.
You good? You back?
And we're
Yeah,
back in
I'm
the
back.
room.
Hey, who wants to give us a quick 30,000 foot recap of Disc 1 of Final Fantasy 9?
I really
volunteer,
enjoyed. I
Eric.
really enjoyed the title
No.
screen.
I could barely remember disc one.
Well, we left the end of Disc 1 in Bermesia, where we found out that Queen Braun was basically starting world domination, and we'd found that the weapons dealer called Kuja was supplying her with the Black Mages. Meanwhile, Steiner and Princess Garnet were trying to make their way back to Alexandria to speak to Queen Braun, because Garnet suddenly realised, it's stupid me coming all the way out here. I'm going to travel all the way back now and just talk to her. And then
what a
stupid, sexy
dumb one.
Kuja flew away on his dragon.
Man, that guy's attractive.
I like
Yeah.
him. I like him a lot.
That cod
I
piece
like
whew,
him too.
rivals David Bowie.
I like the way he sits sideways on his dragon as well, just like at a jaunty angle.
Side saddle.
He's in next
So-
week's Kissing Darkness.
So disc 2, I found that the title screen was very similar, made the same sort of noises, had the same text. What about you guys?
It
The
was a bit
transition
shorter.
screen between the discs is different.
Well, it was normal, then it was 16 by 9, then it was normal again.
Did Dan just suddenly come into your house to go with your settings?
mine just stayed
Better.
16.9, and it was beautiful.
No, it's not, Dan. That is so wrong.
Yeah, we've been through this. It's all drawn.
No, not until you switch it to 4x3.
I did switch it the other day, and I thought it looked wrong, so I switched it back.
How did you
sake.
survive most of your childhood life? Did you just sit there thinking, boy, this would look better if it were stretched out another 4 inches on
I
each
couldn't
side?
see when I was a child. I didn't wear glasses then.
Wait,
Spent
maybe
most-
that's it. Maybe Dan's got some like undiagnosed eye condition that we don't realise, and that's how he sees the world, so it does look better to him.
Everything that's stretched is actually squished together,
Yeah.
so it looks normal.
Is that why I'm cross-eyed?
The Hett obtrusion. No, what are they? Optician?
No, we don't have them yet.
He doesn't even have a shop.
We just have a
So
local
You don't even have a
doctor. We just have a
bar.
local doctor who
But
puts
there's no
leeches on
pub.
everything.
There's no
Where do you
village
go
pub.
to drink away your sorrows?
I don't drink, do I?
Well, you did have a drink at Tom's house.
Dan, is there a post office?
There is no post office.
What?
There is no post box.
Is there a church?
There is no church.
What is there? Is that list easier to put together?
You saw the video. That's Hett.
Got it. Okay, disc 2. I feel like Hett is just going to become the central focus of this damn show.
Me too.
Spoilers for the end of Final Fantasy IX. It all took place in Hett.
Oh no!
We're renaming the show Hett Happenings, guys.
Oh god, we could do a podcast on that.
Anyway, this too.
This is where the game starts
Crack
to
on,
become
Yum's gotta
unfamiliar
go.
for me.
Unfamiliar, yeah, same. I didn't remember most of it, to be honest.
I don't know. I'm getting to. I said on the last show that I remember a hell of a lot more of this game than I thought. But I'm still quite familiar at this point.
I'm not, but good thing I took copious notes because I need them.
But we start off with Garnet and Steiner, don't they, going through the gate to go on the cable cars to get back up to Alexandria. One thing that I didn't mention to you guys in the last show that I've been taking advantage of, and it's something you can buy here. Are you guys taking advantage of the cotton robe trick at all for money?
The what?
No.
The what?
Cotton robe trick. So basically, at the synthesis shops, you can synthesize cotton robes, and they're made from wrists and steepled hats. And the cost of buying the steepled hats and the wrists and then synthesizing them is a hell of a lot less than what the cotton robes sell for. So all the way through, when I've been able to buy loads of wrists and loads of steeple hats, I've been then selling them and making tons of moolah.
See, I've never been short on cash in this game. I think I've always had like 50,000 plus. Because there's just little random items you can find laying around that, like, oh, you found 20,000 gil.
Yeah, it's people
You
just
say
don't
that,
remember.
Eric, but it's more of a thing for later on. But I've struggled with money later on, so I'll be
If I-
interested to see if you guys do.
I can't remember if we covered this in the last show, but do you find it's kind of weird when you find gil, it's the random amounts like 961 or 213?
Yeah, these people are just dropping their coin purses.
Yeah.
And leaving them in chests which nobody else bothers with.
Well, it's like the Fallout technique, isn't it? When you open a safe and there's just like, oh, some money, some bullets, pictures of my family, and this spoon. But no, the reason I'm saying it is because at this point is when you can pick up a load of steeple hats from this station, and you can then you next get to a synthesis shop. You can take advantage of that bitch.
God, how did you remember that?
I remember it from an older playthrough years ago.
If Mike can cheat his way through Final Fantasy IX, he'll do it.
It's not cheating. It's taking. It's buying and selling and synthesizing, which you do in all Final
Capitalism
Fantasy.
right there.
How's that
exactly.
speeding along the battles going for you, Mike? Are you level 99
How's that
yet?
God
on disc
mode?
2?
I'm getting close. I think Zidane's nearly level 70.
Oh my god.
I'm level 30.
I've just finished disc 3 and I'm level 45.
Actually, I'm not even
about
sure I'm 30.
I'm 28, I think.
Yeah, I'm close to the end of disc 3, and yeah, Zidane's nearly level 70.
I finished disc 2 severely underleveled. And I've gone through a couple hours of disc 3 just grinding to get myself up because I felt bad about it. So we pick up with the cable cars. What I kind of like about this part of the disc is you start coming across different characters who are on their own story adventures, like Marcus and Blank, who are there with a plan to go and get a super soft to go save, not Marcus and Blank, Marcus and
Sinner.
Sinner.
There we go, to go save Blank. So they need to find this super soft that's back in Trino.
Yeah, to cure his petrification.
Trino.
Yes.
And you end
we
up
all
fighting
think
the
about
Black
the bit
Waltz.
where Garnet's in the bag? Did we discuss this last time?
Yeah, that was on disc 1.
Yeah, that was just
Was
one
it?
where she's in there with the
Oh,
pickles.
right, okay. Yeah.
Ooh, I take notes and I can remember everything.
I didn't do this one notes, I did this too.
many times, I know everything.
I do. Thank you.
He does.
Okay. But yeah,
And
the
did
Black
you
Waltz
steal
comes
the-
back.
Did you steal the lightning staff from the Black Waltz?
No, I
And the
forgot.
Flame Staff. Lightning Staff and the Flame Staff.
Oh yeah. Of course.
The
Sure
steal
did.
rate in this game is insanely difficult.
Oh, it's fucking stupid. I
It
touched on it on the
is.
last
Sometimes it's
episode.
worth it.
Well, Juliet posted something about how she's going through and trying to get all the rare steals, and it took her like 4 or 5 times resetting the game just to get all the steals off Fight with Beatrix.
Is it really worth it though doing that? I mean,
Some-
can't you get most of the
sometimes.
stuff from the shops like in the next town or like a bit later on?
You can, but it means you get abilities earlier. So, I mean, we didn't really touch upon how you learn the abilities on the last show, but you equip the weapons, and then there's a certain amount of AP you have to get the ability full time without the weapon being equipped. And if you get the weapons earlier, you can learn the abilities earlier, which means profit.
Yeah. How are you guys doing with finding those random creatures on the world map where you throw them ore and they give you a shit ton of AP?
I think I've done 2.
I've only seen one.
I've done all of them.
Yeah, I've done about 6 now, and you get so much AP from these guys.
So, do you know what the whole point of finding all of them is, Tom? It's to do with Ozma?
I have actually had no idea. I'm just if I find them, great, but I don't know what it all leads to.
Basically, there's 8 of them, I think there is altogether. This is going off topic a little bit, but they when you fight Ozma later on, which is one of the optional bosses, he can't be attacked, and also he absorbs shadow magic. If you find all 8 of the friendly creatures, you can then actually physically attack him, and he won't absorb shadow.
Oh.
Has anybody encountered Ragtime Mouse?
Yes.
I haven't on this playthrough.
I think
How
I've
about
seen
you
him
guys?
3 times.
Ragtime Mouse is another kind of one of those joke battle things where he does a quiz. He asks you different
Oh, yeah.
questions, and you have to attack a circle or an X.
I found him once.
And then I think he gives you gil and items.
Yeah,
Not
I think
found
if
him.
I think you get a prize if you 100% get 100% the right answers if you find all of them. I'll have a look.
It's kind of like the CD exam on Final Fantasy VIII.
Oh. Nice.
Where it asks you obscure things that you'd have no chance of knowing.
Yeah, and you have to.
Not.
Yeah. I've not found Ragtime Mouse at all. I feel left out.
I forgot about him because I haven't encountered him on this playthrough, and then I was looking through side quests, and I was like, oh yeah!
I think his
So-
question to me that I came across was, where was the what's the name of the Tantalus ship?
Prima Vista.
The Prima Vista. Where was it? Was it built? And then he gave me a location, and it was true or false. I'm like, no.
So there's 16 times that you can meet him with 16 different questions, but depending on where you are in the game, you can only find him X amount of times. So on disc 1, you can only find him 4 times, disc 2, 6+ times, disc 3, 6+ times, disc 4, 6+ times. The chance of Ragtime Mouse appearing in the same forest is not high. By having an airship or flying chocobo, the player can roam the world map from forest to forest, switching to a new forest after
So
having
he only
encountered it.
appears in forests.
Yes.
Oh.
That'll be why, because I avoid forests. I don't know
Yeah.
why.
For answering every question correctly, the player can win up to 70,000 gil. If the player answers the last question correctly, the Ragtime Mouse explodes and the party wins a Protect ring.
He
Interesting.
explodes.
Yeah,
Poor
apparently
guy.
So.
That seems unfair.
Yeah, poor little chap.
These
Speaking
poor
of
guys
other
only
things,
asking questions.
how have you guys been doing with collecting the Stelazio coins?
Oh yeah, I forgot
I've got
about that.
about 3.
I think I've
'cause
got about
there's-
7.
Don't you need a certain amount of them to challenge that monster in Trino?
No,
I don't
you just
think-
talk,
no.
just talk to the shop owner in Trino. And
There's
let you
one of
do
them
it.
where you need. There's something where you need 4 Stelazio coins, and at this point, I only had 3, and I couldn't. I don't remember what that was.
It's not ringing a bell. The
No, I
best
don't think
early
that's a thing,
prize.
Eric.
The best early prize, because of all the ones that you can get before you get to Trino, the best early prize is Steiner's Blood Sword, because every
Yeah,
time you
that's a good
attack,
one.
he absorbs HP.
That's what it was. I was trying to get the blood sword, and I couldn't because I didn't have enough. So one of the ones that I almost missed was the wishing well. Right away in Trino,
Oh,
where you
yeah.
have to throw
Yeah,
money
yeah.
into it 13 times to get something.
Oh, I didn't do that. Damn.
Yeah.
Did you guys know one of the Stelatio coins you can't get until the end, and then does it appear in a random location or where one of them already was, or something like that?
They're in such weird
No.
spots though. Like they'll just be laying on the
you-
ground.
Did you guys go past Trino to go to Quan's dwelling and get one there?
Yes.
I did that in disc 3.
Yeah, you can
Yes,
do it.
do.
too.
I've got that.
Okay.
Yeah.
I forgot
There's a
about Quan's
Scorpio.
dwelling because that's kind of hidden back in a little valley beyond a forest and tucked behind a little corner in the mountain.
Yeah, I
Eric,
found it
because
by
you
accident.
didn't do it when you went to Trino, you missed a special scene with where Vivi's there.
Well, I went there.
Oh, yeah.
No, I went there where Vivi was there,
Oh.
and you get the flashback about his grandpa.
Yeah. Eric, sorry, Dan, you're right. After you return all of the coins, which you can't get all of them till disc 4, you go back to the same place that Scorpio was, which was in Quan's dwelling, and then you
Yep.
get the last one. Yeah, you're right.
Ah.
And that's when you get the hammer, which I think gives you an extra bit of ending, doesn't it?
I saw a clip a shot the other day where, well, obviously because the Stelazio coins are named after star signs, and it just says you have acquired cancer. I was like, it's so bad. Didn't realise.
So after you guys did the cable cars, did you visit Dali again? Now you have the gate pass, because you can go and get one of the Stelazio coins from there as well.
No,
I did that in
I
disc
did.
3.
I did go back, but I didn't find anything, so I left. Didn't realise you could get a coin.
So when you go back to Dali, there you can then access 2 more boxes at the top of the windmill, and one of them has the Ares one.
And you can. I don't know if you couldn't in disc 2, but in disc 3, when you go back, the mayor isn't in his house.
Yeah,
and-
you can't do that on disc 2.
Okay, so we'll discuss that in disc 3 then. So,
But you end up at Trino.
yeah, and you have
I
to.
love Trino.
Don't
so
you have
much.
to? You have to win the Super Soft in the auction, right?
No.
no.
Supersoft is in a room from a collector, and you go on a trip to steal it.
That's right. I was trying to buy stuff from the auction, like the fairy earrings and things like that.
Yeah, some of the items from there are so worth getting this early.
Oh,
Don't
yeah.
you guys just love the music from Trino, though?
It is good.
Dan played it for me on his piano when I was around his house. Gave me a little
Aw.
concert.
little concert.
There are a lot of ATEs in Trino.
Oh yeah.
About 6 in total I've got here.
Oh yeah,
I like
there's
the one
where,
called Trino Tradition, where Dagger gets robbed.
Yeah, if
Oh,
you
yeah.
press X at the right time, less money goes.
Yeah, do you know that reminds me of the pickpocketer you have on the train on Final Fantasy VII? Do you remember that?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
You're just walking, you hear the little ding ding, and like this guy's like hee hee, and he runs to another carriage, and you have to run after him.
Yeah.
And if you say the right thing, you can get the gil back.
Did you guys actually meet the guy who steals the money later, though, and you get a muscle belt off him?
Yes.
Yeah.
So it works out in the end, really, because that's a
But you-
really good accessory.
But yeah, the accessories from the thing are worth getting. But there's also 3 other items you can get from the auction house that, if you try and buy them cheap enough, you can make quite a profit on them, because there's NPCs that want to buy them off you, which is Un's Mirror, Doga's Artifact, and Griffin's Heart. And I don't know if you guys will remember, I was talking about all the references to old games on the last show, and the Un's Mirror and Doga's Artifact at the auction house refer to the characters Uni and Doga. Un's Mirror has the engravings, "The body may perish, but the spirit lives on," which were Une's words in Final Fantasy III. Zemus from Final Fantasy IV also uses this line. And if you examine the Un's Mirror in the key item screen, the description will say that the exact same thing I've just said, because I put this note twice for some reason.
Good effort, Mike.
Good. I thought that was quite interesting.
Yeah, so you get the Super Soft, and you have to make your way to Garganroo.
Well, yeah.
Well, you meet Doctor
You feel
Tot
like
at
Dr.
this
Tot
point.
as well.
Yeah.
Dr. Tot
Who-
gives us the some super soft.
Yeah,
And
I've put a note here about Baku calling Doctor Tot different names in a scene. Can you remember this?
No.
And he's like, so he goes, and this Ted has the super soft, right? And then Marcus keeps correcting him, going it's Tot, and then he keeps calling him different names over and over again.
I got
Like Ted, and Tootsie and other things. It's just a funny scene.
I like
I
Baku.
picked up on this.
I kind of noted here that in Trino, it seems like Steiner is still trying to find his purpose in the story up at this point, and that he kind of opens up a little bit with his own little inner monologue, because he's so principled normally, but he's starting to kind of doubt stuff around him that's going on.
Oh yeah,
Well,
he
he's
is,
almost
isn't he?
just as sheltered as Garnet is. You know, she's on this adventure to kind of learn more about herself and what the real world is like. And Steiner kind of always held himself as this noble knight who had all the answers to everything, when in actuality he really knows nothing and doesn't understand how the world really works either.
Yeah, he's starting to
Yeah.
have doubts about the Queen, isn't he? He's been very much
Yeah.
straight-laced, kind of, I will do what the Queen says. She would never do anything wrong.
Yeah,
And I
'cause
think
they're
he kind of
hearing-
says something like that on the board, actually. She would never commit an atrocity or something like that, I think he says.
Yeah.
Because obviously Garnet and Steiner aren't fully aware what's happened in Bermesia, and they're only hearing rumours about it, and all the time Steiner's like, no, she'd never do that.
Yeah, and he keeps calling Tom a scoundrel.
That damn Tom.
He keeps jumping up and down and calling me all sorts of names.
At least you call him Rusty back, though, right?
Stupid Tin Man. Yeah.
But-
And so then,
Dr. Tot
Go
helps
on.
you get back to Alexandria by saying that you can go through Gargan Rue.
Which is an ancient travel route between Trino and Alexandria that you take an insect carriage on, what are they called, gargants?
Gargants, yes.
I say Gargants, but
I've put a note again, is the Gargant really very efficient? Like, it just go around on the track forever, like, never gets off it.
Seems like a dull life.
How does it eat? It has a carriage on its back which hangs down, so if it gets off, that's just going to fall on it. It's just a dumb system.
Well, you have to go through this sequence to activate.
Yeah, this system hasn't been
tunnel.
used in forever, has it? So that Gargant, poor bastard, has just been running around on that track for years and years and years, waiting for somebody to open the gate.
Yeah.
they just go in and it's Dry Bones' version of a Gargan.
Stupidness.
you have to fight a boss halfway through your journey on that Gargant as well.
Oh yeah, in the
but-
misty foggy bog.
Some sort of snake thing.
Well, we were talking about Steiner getting his purpose here, and before they get onto the Gargant, Tot kind of sends Steiner off with some words of wisdom, and he says, make your own decision on the matter at hand to protect the princess. And like you'd mentioned, Steiner just kind of has this blind allegiance and loyalty. And he's like, I can't extend my authority. I have to do what I'm ordered to do. And Tot just leaves him with, if you continue to do that, you may actually endanger the princess if you just blindly follow. Instead of helping her, you're going to be hindering her.
Yeah. Exactly. But once Steiner, Marcus, and Dagger get to Alexandria, you get met and captured by our two favourite jesters.
Zorn and Thorn.
Zorn and Thorn, who by this is the point of the story where they stop speaking in opposites.
Thank
Oh
God.
yeah, you were right. I was looking
Yeah.
out for this, Dan, and you're right. They do, and then they pick it up again on disc 3, don't they?
Yes, they do. It's very annoying.
They're so annoying.
Inconsistencies. So and then the story switches over to the other party who have just got their asses kicked in Bermesia and just dusted off and go, right, we'll go to Clara now.
Oh yes.
But Clara is this
Well, Zorn and Thorn
place which is
capture
hidden-
them. Hold on. Zorn and Thorn capture them because Braun ordered them to. So she actually ordered the arrest of Garnet, particularly, not bring her back to me, but arrest her.
Yeah, because she needs her alive.
Elephant lady.
Yeah. So, Dan, you were saying that we head to Clara.
Clara, which is this weird town up a tree, which is hidden by a sandstorm, which is really easy to get through. It's meant to be hidden from the world, really, and then you just go you go there and just walk through the sandstorm.
Yeah, but it's kind of a pain in the ass to get up, though. You come across these enemies called Nymph, which just constantly cast night.
Ugh.
Those
Darkness,
things
you mean?
suck. It's called night.
Is it?
Yeah. It's
Yeah,
the
'cause you can
spell
actually-
called night that causes darkness.
Ah, I don't think I encountered any of them. I kept getting attacked by sand golems all the
I
time. who were
encountered
really
them enough to
irritating.
make a note about it that said, this shit sucked.
What does the status effect trouble do?
Gives you anxiety.
When you get attacked, it attacks the party member next to you as well.
Oh,
Oh.
dear.
And there's another one later called Virus, which stops you from getting EXP, which is really irritating.
Which you can only cure with vaccine.
And Zombie as well. Zombie stops you getting anything.
Yeah, zombies don't get much, Tom. You're
Just
right.
a little side note on status effects there.
So anyway, you work your way up this tree through a very long, drawn-out section, which is, Eric, you're right, it's a bit of a ball ache, to be honest, that bit. And go to Clara, which is a very nice little town at the top of the tree.
Which is, like you said, protected by a sandstorm that they have kept up for centuries through a stone on a magic harp, and they have to occasionally strengthen the storm by doing a dance.
Do you ever think sometimes about the sentences we have to say on this show?
All the time.
I think I find it generally best not to. Island of Children's Tears rings a bell. I've made a note here about the Burmesian family, including children, just shouting bastard at Vivi.
Poor guy!
Oh, yeah.
It's only a small.
Yeah, the dad calls him a bastard, the mum calls him a bastard, and then the two kids just go, bastard!
Yeah, but you also meet the Burmesian soldier Dan again. Who
Gets around that guy.
Who
My
now
starring
turns
role.
into a shop for you.
Oh, yeah.
You know, and then,
He does.
like you said, there's a couple different ATEs where you get to see Vivi running around, and the first is a group of kids calling him a pointy-headed devil or a demon, and he's actually then chased by Burmesian soldier Dan, who's yelling at him, "You killed my father." So Vivi's now just feeling this onslaught of personal attack for nothing he did.
Yeah, poor guy. Did anybody do the optional section where you can meet Queen near the quicksand and she jumps down the tree?
Yes.
You end up following her. Oh,
So you have to make your way back up the tree again with just Zidane and Quina.
Yeah, really annoying.
Is that the
but
quicksand where the antlion is?
But you
Yes.
do get a silk robe and a second pair of magician shoes for it, though.
I still hadn't got Quinner at this point.
Imagine if, like, God, Tom.
Jesus, Tom.
Imagine
Quina's
if
so
you actually...
useful, underrated.
Oh, honestly, once I got him, it was brilliant. But
Imagine if your armour actually reflected what they looked like and you were wearing a magician's robe and cotton shoes. You look ridiculous.
Well, there's one later on called a glutton robe.
Crazy. So, yeah, and Puck, who you met earlier in Alexandria, ends up being a prince.
Yeah,
Randomly.
he was the Prince of Burmecia, wasn't he?
Yeah, and Freya
And
is
what
the
about-
one who kind of announces that, because she refers
Yeah.
to him as Prince Puck. And
Yeah.
he left Burmecia shortly after Freya.
The dad's just like, I haven't seen you for ages, and just runs away. There's a bit like the bit where they try to strengthen the sandstorm, and like they do that stupid ass dance, and then it just breaks for no reason. It's like they've asked Freya to help because it will strengthen it, and she goes and breaks the damn thing.
She just can't catch a break here. She told Sir Fratley that she was going to protect Burmecia, and now she vows to protect Clara, and can't do that shit either.
oh yeah, and Frat Boy doesn't remember her.
Why does Fratley lose his memory?
We
Is
don't
that
know
ever
about Frat
addressed?
Boy yet.
Yeah, we haven't gotten
say,
to that part yet.
Is it even explained? Is it just he went around the world to strengthen Burmecia?
Well,
and...
we're like
Went
we're,
round the,
we're a few
went
minutes
round the
away
world,
from
got
that
dementia,
yet.
came back. You know that old chestnut.
I think he just conveniently forgot because it's an X, you know? It's like, oh, I don't remember, mate. I don't remember.
Oh,
See you
forgot
later.
my memory.
But he's actually the one who comes back and saves everybody. So once the sandstorm, once the heart breaks, the sandstorm dies, and
One thing about the Antlion, Eric, as well. In Final Fantasy IV, there's an Antlion that used to be docile that attacks Prince Edward, and then in this one, obviously, they said it used to be docile and that attacks Prince Puck as well. So that's another little callback.
oh,
There's 4 Final Fantasy 6.
oh,
Well, the where I'm getting all these like callbacks and stuff from, it's referring to them in the proper numbered order. So
All right, I think 4 is
Yeah.
6.
Well, before we
Very
get onto the
confusing.
antlion scene, though, after the sandstorm breaks, it kind of cuts back to Marcus
Is the
and
Antlion not
Steiner.
before the sandstorm?
yeah, it is before the sandstorm
No,
breaks.
it's not. The antlion is
Sure.
after it.
Is it?
Are you sure?
Odin.
Oh wait, no,
because
you're right. You're right.
You
I'm
rescue
sorry.
Puck from the antlion.
It is, and then you take Puck back up, and that's when they do the dance and the sandstorm breaks. But then you go back to Marcus and Steiner in Alexandria, who have been imprisoned.
Oh. Yeah.
Dagger is
Yes, and then you have to swing the cage to escape.
yeah.
Oh, yeah.
There you go. There you
Yes.
go.
And
There you go.
Dagger is in her bedroom. She's not in prison. She's kept captive in her room, and she starts kind of monologuing about how Mother's been different since her last birthday, and when this tall man visited, and Dr. Tot was with them too.
Goddamn sexy Kuja. Spoilers.
She's getting it on with Elephant Lady.
Ugh.
Ooh.
Just checking, did you guys get the emerald for Freya when the thing breaks?
No.
'Cause you can miss it. You go and see the
don't
high
think
priest,
so.
and he gives you an emerald, which gives you, teaches Freya her white draw technique, which draws MP from the enemies and then gives it to all of the party members at once.
Wow. No, I
you
did not
go
get
back
that.
and
I
get
did
that?
not get that.
And haste for Garnet, I think, as well.
Oh, haste would be
And you
useful.
can miss it. Yeah.
So I'm assuming you can't go back and get it?
You can get it else later on, but you can't get that same one.
Damn it.
But you can miss it for a while. But yeah, you go in and speak to the high priest guy when all shit's going down, and he gives it for Freya.
Damn it.
Damn it.
Damn it. But at this point, doesn't Dagger actually talk to Queen Braun and asks her directly if she destroyed Burmecia? And
Yeah, and
Yeah.
then Kuja wanders in and puts it asleep.
well, Braun claimed that the Burmecians were plotting to attack Alexandria, so she attacks first. But Dagger doesn't
Guys, I
believe
think
her.
that's a lie.
Yeah.
Just putting it out there.
What I like about Kuja is that he's kind of he always acts like he's in this scripted play, and he comes waltzing and he's like, "Can I play a part in this act?" It's like,
My beautiful canary. All that shit.
That's so true.
I will take you to a world of dreams.
She is so
No.
beautiful, even in sleep.
Queen
And this
Braun
is-
is always hot, isn't she? She's
Well,
always
she's-
waving that little fan.
Carrying a bit of weight, isn't she?
She's one of those overweight people that just are constantly always sweating just by being awake.
Too much behemoth steak, I think, for her Queen Braun.
She's got the meat sweats. Gross.
God.
So Kuja puts Dagger to sleep, and Braun says, "Go ahead and extract the eidolons from her." And this has been Braun's plan all of Garnet's life until she turns 16, because apparently you can't extract eidolons until they're 16.
Sounds like someone else.
Yes, Tom.
You took my extracting eidolon virginity. So then we swap back over to Clara, I believe.
And you have to fight a bunch of soldiers on your way out, and so
And the Black
Beatrix
Mages
is,
start teleporting in,
yeah.
which is
Yeah.
new.
Alexandria started attacking it, basically.
And Beatrix shows up and steals a stone.
And Burmesian soldier Dan gets killed. And then
Oh, yeah,
his
he
wife
does.
sacrifices herself.
Stupidly.
We saved this, Clara. Briefly.
We actually caused its downfall. Good job.
Did
Freya.
anybody do the bit where you have to give the people directions?
Yes. I don't know if I
to
did well
save
on that
them.
one.
I think
I actually,
they-
just from memory, remembered where they need to go. I don't know how.
Did
And,
you lead them into fire? Because that's what I did.
No, I didn't leave them in fire.
I would say you did poorly then, Tom.
Yeah,
See
and
that
if
hot
you
glowing
save them, they
thing?
all give you items.
Well, like potions and stuff.
Elixirs and things and stuff like that.
Phoenix down, a remedy, a nymph card,
Ha.
an elixir, a zoo card, an ether, and a phoenix pinion. If you save them all.
Well, kind of during this time, you learn a little bit more about Zidane, too, and just his inner drive. He kind of has that outward machismo and kind of womanizer appearance, but deep down he has that inner drive to want to save the town and protect the people. So you do kind of get a glimpse to the fact that, you know what, he is kind of a good guy here.
You mean all that
harkens
I
back
was
to what I
saying
said
on
in
the last
disc one.
episode?
Yeah, well, we
I said
weren't
that as
on
well.
this disc yet, were we?
That's you. That's what you sound like.
It's a good impersonation. I like it. Sounds just like
I told you about Mega Man. I told you about 1776.
Oh, let me tell you about 1776. Oh, man.
I
get to play track.
about the Mega Man.
You don't play track.
I don't know. I'm not an American man.
You run track. Come on.
No,
Get with it.
we just call it running over here.
Well, track and field. Different event.
Yeah, that's the thing where you hurt your fingers.
God.
Good.
Shut up, Dan.
Shut up, Dan.
I'm done.
Are you sure?
Yep, I'm good.
Done? You got it out of your system?
Yep, all done.
So we can give you about another 10 seconds.
I don't know what's worse, the fact that we all knew it was coming.
Yeah. We would have been disappointed had he not done it.
So anyway, you have to fight
so-
Beatrix again at this point.
Well, before that, though, like, you kind of become overwhelmed, and that's when a stranger arrives, saves everybody, and you discover it's Sir Frat Boy!
Rat boy in the house.
Yeah, where's my beer bong?
We'll get this party up in here.
We weren't
Get over
cool.
it, boy.
Hazel's just tried calling me. Apparently, I've locked her out the house. I better go and let her in.
No.
I did that.
me?
I did that to Crystal the other night when me and Mike were playing Mario Kart.
Crystal, you'll have to wait! We're on the last lap!
Please
I
excuse
didn't
me.
have my phone with me. It was downstairs charging, and she was trying to call me. I didn't have next door neighbour had to let her in.
Oh, God. Wait, your next door neighbor has a key?
No, we share a porch, so she could go over and open the door. Of course we do.
Got
Ted.
it. Okay, so Sir Frat Boy shows up and doesn't remember Freya at all. Puck found
got-
him on his
got dementia.
travels. And
Yeah.
Fratley's faint memories of being a dragon knight are what drew him back.
Yeah,
And then
it's hard to
Beatrix
forget.
shows up and steals that jewel from the harp. And then you have your second unwinnable battle with...
Beatrix.
But she's a DJ. DJ
Beatrix.
Beatrix.
What up? It's DJ Beatrix here. Representing the Queen Braun posse.
I got some good beats for you, like "Loss of Me." It's my own theme tune.
So after this, you actually teleport back with the mages. So the mages kind of pull out of Clara because they got everything that they need, and they kind of
Yeah.
create these little
And,
portals. And
Queena buggers off at this point because she looks at the portal and goes, "I know I like heights," and just runs away.
I love Queena.
I love Queen. There's so many funny bits of Queena in
Yeah.
these next two discs.
So yeah, you jump in. You end up back on the. Do they have a name for her ship?
The Red Rose.
The Red
which-
Rose. You're right.
Which also, I've made a note here about teleporting teacups. The teleporters look like teacups.
I thought they just looked like barrels.
I thought they looked like teacups. Maybe it was my
Because you're
stretched
British,
image.
everything looks like a teacup. That toilet looks like a teacup.
It's a bit
Warm the
yellow.
water up.
Just keeps it bubbling warm.
And at this point, Queen Bran has extracted an eidolon from Garnet and uses Odin to completely nuke Clara.
Poor Clara. But
Which
there's
Queen
dark
somehow
matter
escapes
that
from.
then gives her the power to summon.
Because she's infused them into stones, right?
Yeah.
So, come to me.
I like Odin. I think Odin's one of my favorite summons across all the games.
Yeah.
I really
same.
like it on Final Fantasy VIII when Cypher cuts him in half.
Which is what game does Odin just randomly show up in? Is that 7?
7.
I loved that.
Yeah, when he
Yeah,
just
like-
slice all enemies in half.
Or when he'd show up at just the most clutch moment when you're just low on health, you're trying to get back to town with no items, and here comes a fucking giant cactar, and then lightning
No, he does that
storm.
on 8 as well, because that's why he shows up with Cypher, and Cypher cuts him in half.
Oh yeah.
I think 7 you have to physically summon him.
Oh no, he does randomly come along on 7 as well.
Yeah,
Does he?
yeah. 7, you actually can't summon him; he's just random.
What are you talking about?
Odin in 7, where he
No,
just
he is a
randomly
summon.
shows
You're
up.
thinking of Final Fantasy 8, where he randomly appears.
Yes.
He
I
is,
thought
he is
so.
a summon in 8.
You're
There's
right.
materia for him in 7, I'm sure there is.
Yeah, you're right. I'm sorry.
Don't you get
Yeah.
him from inside the safe in the Shinra mansion?
Yeah.
No.
Yes.
Yes, you do.
But anyway, Final Fantasy 9.
So after Clara's destroyed, you're aboard the airship, and Beatrix reveals that Braun is the one who's actually been using the Black Mages as her stand-in Eidolons. And
Does she also reveal about the fact that she's extracting the Eidolons to Garnet and the Overhearer, and then decide to go to Alexandria?
That sounds about right.
Who beat Rix?
Yeah. Yeah, Beatrix is a DJ, Mike, apparently.
yeah,
Oh, okay.
DJ Beatrix. But this is where Beatrix also has a change of heart, too. She starts to realize that maybe Steiner was right, and blindly following orders isn't the best way to do things because of what's happening. And for me, it's a little bit jarring. Like, she just suddenly had this change of heart. It's like, oh, okay, well, now I'm just going to go help these guys.
Yeah. It's very quick.
Yeah. But Braun needs one last jewel, and she discovers, hey, okay, now that I have the Eidolons from Dagger, I have no use for her. Execute her.
Why does she need the jewel from Clara to infuse an Eidolon into it? Is that why she needs it? It's never really clear.
I find her to be rather greedy, the queen.
I know,
bit.
right? Oh, there was those behemoth steaks.
In more
sharing.
ways than one.
Well, that is the thing. She is greedy. Like, her husband died, and she becomes obsessed with this greed. This need for
Kind of-
power and being seen as powerful.
Is
A bit of a tragic character, really.
Is this the point where she tasks a couple of bounty hunters to find, or is that too soon?
I think that's a little later.
That's a little later. Because you then get to the point where Steiner and Marcus escape from the cage. That's where you actually do the cage swinging thing.
Yeah, and then Marcus
and-
leaves, because now that he's back, he leaves Steiner to go save Blank. He's like, fuck you, Steiner, I'm out of here.
And that's
I
when
made a note
Vivi,
there
Freya,
about
and
because
Zidane-
they come back later, and I put how fast do Marcus and Blank run, because they get to the evil forest, unpetrify it, and get back within about half an hour. I'm pretty sure it's down a big cliff.
Yeah, it is.
Well, yeah, because you actually only have 30 minutes to save Dagger. So everybody shows up,
Yeah.
finds Steiner. Like, Steiner's just in the state of disarray. He doesn't really understand what's going on. So you reunite with him and say, okay, here's what's happening. Dagger's going to be executed in 30 minutes, so you have to get to her within 30 minutes. And you're running through the castle, and you find her in the basement where she's still on that, looks like a sacrificing table with Zorn and Thorn, where you have a battle with them, and Steiner has this massive meltdown.
Before that, did any of you guys do the optional boss in the library, the Temptarian?
Yes, and I got
I
destroyed.
completely forgot about him.
Oh, I did too.
I managed to do it, even though I was over-leveled slightly. I still struggled with it, but worth it, because the item you get teaches auto-haste, I think it is. I can't remember if it's auto-haste or
Oh,
auto-regen.
man.
I can't remember if it's auto-haste or auto-regen.
Is
I'm
it a
just looking
one-time
now.
battle?
No, you can do it
If
again
it's
later on.
If it's auto region, there's other items that give you that, so it's not a big deal.
Yeah, but not this early in the game.
No.
Hang on, I'm just trying to find which one it gives you because I can't remember.
Yeah.
But anyway, I ended up defeating it. It was still hard. But
You
it
demand,
was
Michael.
Worth it. It was worth it just to get it. I'm just finding out.
Is that the one where it
it's
flips
gonna do.
pages to different
Yeah.
things? And you can only attack it when it goes to a certain page.
Yeah, so once it gets... Each time you hit it, random pages will open, and as soon as it hits anywhere between 150 and 200, it will actually open up, and that's when you can hit it. Yeah, it's the running shoes. It teaches auto haste to all your characters. So
auto haste would be awesome.
Since Disc 2, nearly all my characters have had auto haste, and it's been so fucking useful.
Jesus.
I mean, with the double speed, you could go like 4 times the speed. It's amazing.
Yeah, I had no chance. I was severely underleveled anyway at this point. So
you know what? I've got a note here about the bit in Alexandria where you're running up and down the spiral about 1 million times. Like everybody just decides to go back and forth constantly.
Oh yeah.
It's like just Steiner goes down with Zidane, goes back up, then you have to come down with Steiner, and Beatrix joins the party, and you have to go down again, and then and it's just such a faff on. And I do like the bit with Beatrix when she joins the party though, and she's just like super powerful.
Oh yeah, she joins the party.
Yeah, I've put she's a great guest character, and it's a shame she doesn't stay. Actually, I quite like her to join the
She would have
party.
been way better than Amarant.
Definitely.
I've just got a weapon on disc 3 for Steiner that teaches him her Thunder Slash and Clim Hazard abilities.
Yeah, I've got that as well.
Which is cool. Yeah. But
Nice.
I mean, we're skipping forward here to where Beatrix joins, because you fight Zorn and Thorn, don't you? And then you're on about the Steiners starting to see what's going on.
Well, you
and they all
you
have a
find
huge scene, don't they?
Yeah, you go back to Braun's room after you save Garnet, and
Ooh, yeah.
Zidane kind of has this internal change. You know, he's like, he doesn't blame Steiner for anything that happened, but you know, he feels sad. He can't cry about anything. Beatrix arrives. You have that battle with her, and when she sees Garnet, she kind of has this change of heart as well. Like, all this time I've been mistaken, and asks
But
for
not after
forgiveness
before nearly killing you again.
Yeah, I'm going to try to... Even though on the ship she just had this change of heart, but she still was following the Queen's orders. But I suppose then seeing Garnet, it kind of triggers with her, like, you know what, I'm mistaken. She asks for forgiveness.
She's a soldier at heart, though, isn't she?
Yeah, I mean, she's been ingrained with follow orders. But she asks for forgiveness from the Burmesian citizens, and Freya wants to forgive her, but tells her to save the princess, and Beatrix says, you know what, I'll try.
And she uses the power of circles to revive her.
Yeah. And then Braun shows up.
In the house.
She's not a DJ as well.
Yeah, no. She tells them to throw Dagger back in prison. That's when Beatrix protests. Freya joins in. And then the Bandersnatch shows up.
Yeah, they've got a lot of Bandersnatchers.
Piece of piss, all of them.
Yeah, one hit kills.
Well, yeah, when you're leveled 82.
Yeah, when you've got God mode enabled.
You're just jealous of all the time I've saved.
I suppose.
To be fair,
I'm
though, right,
enjoying
right.
taking this game at a leisurely pace.
Actually,
Thank you
To
very
be
much.
fair, right, I've not had a lot of time to game recently, so not only
It's
is it
true,
a
he
useful
lost a
thing to
night in
have-
Hett.
Yeah,
It's-
it's actually been a godsend, the speed up mode, because it means I've actually been able to play this like to the points where it's
Some
supposed
of
to be.
us have to do
it's-
it like we did in the 90s.
Actually, I would say it's a tiny bit harder on the Vita because I'm getting a bit of slowdown.
I am too.
Yeah. Every now and again it just lags during
Ugh,
battles.
the battles are slow enough already.
Yeah.
Ooh.
I mean, the past few weeks I haven't worked less than 60 hours, so it's been wonderful for me.
Well, good, Mike.
Yeah. So shut up, Dan, is what I'm saying.
You shit.
Maybe
up, Mike.
even shit up. Okay, so Steiner requests to take the princess out of Alexandria and to Dr. Tot. And Garnet starts to realize, you know what? Everybody's fighting for me. And she kind of goes through this internal struggle. Like, why do I deserve everybody fighting for me? And Zidane kind of jumps and he's like, yeah, we're all fighting for you, but we're also fighting for Alexandria. And knowing that hopefully Garnet will be given the throne so that she can be the one to revive Alexandria. But at its core, everybody here in town is fighting to save the city. And on your way out, Zidane gets trapped in that cage. Marcus and Blank show up from being off in the woods. They save them, hop on a Gargant, you fight the snake again, you miss Trino, and you crash.
Yes. Whereabouts do you end up when you crash?
Pinnacle Rocks. Yeah.
Oh yes, Pinnacle Rocks.
Yes.
Which, right, you end up doing sort of a mini game here where you end up meeting Ramu. Well, it's an old guy at first. You don't realise it's Ramu. And he makes you choose...
Well, wait. Come back to that in just a second, because there's a cutscene that's kind of important.
Oh, I forgot, sorry.
After you crash, it goes back to Zorn, Thorn, and Braun, where a guest has arrived, and they're two of the best bounty hunters in the world, Lonnie and who you don't know his name yet, but you come to find out later that it's Amarant. And Braun gives them two orders and says, you're to retrieve Garnet's pendant, and then your second one is assassinate Vivi. And her quote is, he is a defect running free.
Yeah. Poor Vivi.
And then you get to Pinnacle Rock. So continue with your side thing, Mike.
So you end up doing like a little side quest here where you find these images of Ramu and he tells you sections of a story, and then at the end you've then got to put them in the right order, but you can actually choose one of two endings. One's negative, one's positive. And he's like, oh yeah, I will give you my power, which you get is it a peridot? Is that how it's pronounced?
Yeah.
Yeah, to basically be able to put the ability of Ramu onto Garnet. But the thing I find funny on this is you go through all this quest, I will give you my power, I am Ramu, I will give you my power. And then after this in the game, fucking peridots are plenty. I have enough peridots to kill a yak from 30 yards away.
I really dislike the bit with
enemies.
Ramu. It's so boring.
It is. It's annoying.
And then Zidane kind of goes, well, what was the point of that? And he goes, he doesn't really have a reason, in my opinion.
What happens if you don't tell the story back to him in the right order?
Tells you to bugger off.
You can't complete it. You have to do it.
I think
in
he
the
just
right
makes you try again.
Oh, okay.
But Pinnacle Rocks is literally just outside of Limblum, so it's not far to get to where you want it to be.
But then you see a cutscene with the Red Rose heading towards Lindblum, which is under attack, and then this giant mouth appears in the sky and just starts sucking everything up.
Is it Atomus? It's actually a summon that you get as Garnet.
Is it?
Yeah.
Also, oh yeah.
Yeah. Give me that sky suck. So then you enter the destroyed Lindblum, and the citizens are there wanting to finish off a black mage, and Zidane kind of steps in again and says, no, stop it. This is an actual living creature. Even though these are killing people, Zidane still has a heart. So yes, Mike, you were right. All the stuff you're talking about in Disc 1.
Lovely.
Yes.
I really like the scene where Lindblum's destroyed, though. It's really quite impactful. It's just such a huge city, and it just gets really decimated in like seconds.
You sadist.
Well, you learn a little bit more about Kuja here once Sid arrives. You learn that he was a weapons dealer, and he's the one who's been behind the string of attacks, and he was supplying weapons to Braun. And these weapons were the Black Mages. And Kuja came from a place called the Outer Continent.
Beautiful place.
Yeah. So if you defeat Kuja, the Queen loses her weapons, the war ends.
Yeah. And nobody really knows anything about the Outer Continent. Nobody's been to it. But this is what baffles me, because people have ships. So why haven't they been there?
Well, maybe no, because those ships are powered by the mist, and the mist ends at the continent that you're on. That's why Sid is working on the Hildegard 2, which doesn't run on mist, but it can't go very far.
No, I mean ships as in boats.
No, they only fly in the sky. They haven't figured out how to float on water yet.
They do have boats.
Because you get the boat later on.
No, it's just lightly hovering above the water.
Lindblom has a dock. Alexandria has docks.
It lightly floats above the water. It's not actually in the water. As soon as it touches the water, it sinks.
It's just
so why can't it float slightly above the water across the ocean?
Because there's no mist.
It's dumb.
Everything's powered by mist in this world.
Not steam.
in case you missed it.
Oh, God.
Oh,
Get it, Dan?
Look,
Because it sounds
like-
like missed as in didn't catch.
Don't be so-
put another penny on the missed joke chart.
I know it's quite a misdefined storyline, but that's just the way it is.
God damn it, Dan.
Dear.
Well done, Tom.
You could say that the
thank
outer
you.
continent has a certain amount of mystique.
Because no one's been there, right, Dan?
I don't get it.
Put another tally on the Dan get it chart.
Get it?
So there's 2 conditions of surrender. You have to turn over an airship and hand over the Falcon Claw, which is... That's the name of Garnet's jewel, right?
Yes.
So to get to the outer continent, you need to leave through the Dragon Gate. And I like how Sid says, "Hey, before you leave, I've got this rag for you," and he just hands him this rag, and it's just world map. So in this era where cartography is still a huge thing, he's like, "Hey, just a fucking rag. Just use this thing." I don't have Google Maps.
Well, the thing is that there's a rumor, isn't there, that there's monsters from the outer continent around Q's Marsh, isn't it? That's how they end up going to Q's Marsh to get to the outer continent, because there's rumors.
Yes.
Rumors.
Yeah, and I finally got Gwynner at this point.
Hooray!
Yay! Caught some frogs.
This stupid
yeah.
random... That's the only time in the game I bother catching frogs.
Well, it affects your frog drop, Blue Magic.
I don't
And
use frog
also you get items. So I think Quinner's best weapon,
Indeed.
you have to get through that as well.
Yeah. I don't use Queen of those, so it doesn't matter.
I
don't
do. I use
either.
loads.
I don't.
Interesting.
Past the bits where you have to, she's gone. Bye-bye.
I used Quinner a lot.
I don't like a random damage, it annoys me greatly.
If you get enough of the blue magic, really useful though.
Nah.
It's all about Amaranth.
Yeah, 99 frogs, you end up getting the Gastro Fork.
That's what Queen Bran uses.
So once you go through here, you end up where? Fossil Roo?
Fossil Roo.
Yes, you find a
Which is-
hidden thing in the marsh, which is kind of chained up, and it leads down into underground caverns called Fossil Roo.
Where you're chased by a chariot, confronted by that first bounty hunter, Lonnie, who is after the pendant, not Dagger, but she says the concern for the pendant outweighs the safety of the princess, so therefore she's saying, I'll kill her if
Yeah.
I need to. You end up fighting
Yeah,
with
because
her.
Bran's got the Eidolons now, so she doesn't need her for anything. So she's just like...
Kill her. And then you have to go through this whole thing where you have to change the switches for the Gargants, because
Yeah.
the Gargants hate the water, and you have to route them the proper way.
Do you find this whole section? I found it
Tedious.
a big chunk of filler, basically.
Yeah. Did you guys try the mining out?
Yeah,
Yes, they did.
Get anything.
for a bit.
Not
Got
one
nothing.
item.
Right.
Yeah,
so
same.
Did
so
you
I had
find
a
the
quick
Moogle
look.
behind the wall?
Yes.
Yes.
Oh yeah. I had a quick look online about if it was worth mining or not, and you can get Maiden's Rings, which teach
Yeah.
Body Temp, Chemist, and Guardian Mog, which Guardian Mog's quite useful for eco, and you don't get those until much later on. So I thought I'd give it a go, and it's completely random. You have to pray to RNGesus quite a bit to actually get anything decent, but obviously I've got the speed up feature. I thought, you know what, I'll quickly do it with the speed up feature. I spent 20 minutes trying to mine these things and didn't find one.
Oh my god.
It's not worth it, is it?
No way.
I've made a
not
note,
so.
like, you know, with the Gargant on this bit, because Zidane jumps on its horn, right? So, where are the other characters?
In its butt.
Don't you find it
Fair
weird
enough.
that in Final Fantasy VIII they introduced the characters actually physically following you? And
Yeah.
on
In
this
a,
one-
in a straight line, how everyone walks down the street.
yeah.
It's a proper way, because nobody wants to walk abreast.
No. Take up too much room.
They walk in single file to hide their numbers.
Yeah. It's tactical
I
advantage.
like it best when you spin round and they follow you in a circle.
Oh god, I
yeah.
can't remember what it was, but I remember seeing some YouTube video years ago that was like some kind of Final Fantasy VIII thing, and in between each of the scenes of whatever it was doing, it wasn't a completely serious video. There was like scenes where the characters would like it was real, like live action. The characters would be walking past like in single file, And then suddenly they just start walking in a circle every single time. It's like an ongoing joke. I'm going to have to find it.
Did any of you guys end up fighting the chariot thing, or did you outrun it?
I outran it.
I outran it.
I
I
outran
don't
it.
remember.
No. Oh, yes, I did outrun it, yeah. Because you get
Because you've
nothing.
got that whole
there's no
kind
benefit.
of sort of platforming section where there's like swinging
Yeah.
pendulums that you have to avoid, which comes from nowhere.
Yeah. There's nothing to benefit from fighting it, apparently.
It's just a way to
So-
punish you for sucking.
Yeah.
Reminds me kind of the you know when you fight the mechanical spider at the start of Final Fantasy VIII, where it's
Exactly,
chasing
yep.
you. Yeah.
You can kill that, though.
Oh, it's,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, I
You
know
can.
you can. It takes forever.
I always do
Um,
when I play.
There's a bit.
Get
So
the
there's.
C-rank up.
So I like when you dig the Moogle out of the wall, and you can just, if you keep tapping away, it just starts saying "coo" and then "pour," and finally this Moogle just pops out the wall. It's funny.
I love
So
the
you,
Moogles.
you make it through here to the outer continent where people start to say, "Oh, there's light and there's no mist." Your first
Yeah,
stop is Conda
Conda-
Petty.
Conda PT.
Conda PT.
Rally ho!
It sounds like a Geordie name.
It is Conda PT.
They're
All right,
Scottish.
like welcome to Conda PT Rally ho.
Rally
Value.
Rally ho, pet. You're right.
I like when you first. So it kind of leads you to go here first. You have to walk under and then around and then get back up to it. And it bridges this gap. And as soon as you walk in, Quina runs in for food, and Zidane. It's just like this little passing conversation that kind of comes back to what Mike said last show about the characterization in this game and just how it really fleshes out the characters and there's an exchange that happens here where after Quina runs in looking for food, Zidane says, all he thinks about is food, and Dagger immediately, without missing a beat, says, yeah, and all you ever think about is girls.
And then she just walks off.
Yeah.
Boom! Mic drop.
Bitch.
Speaking of the dwarves from Condipiti, though, they use the same greeting as the dwarves from Final Fantasy IV, but the original saying "Lallyho" was changed to "Rallyho" in Final Fantasy IX. This change is rationalised further by the localisation given the dwarves' Scottish accents, reminiscent of 18th century Scottish poet Robert Burns.
Mr. Mike
Scottish
with all his
people.
facts. Hence the name of the show.
But why are the dwarves Scottish?
Why not?
It's just a bit random.
Just to add character.
It would be good if there were Geordie dwarves.
Just noise.
I'm trying to think, like, across the PlayStation ones, at the PlayStation 1 Final Fantasies, anyway, was there any kind of accents shown through the text? I don't think there was.
This is honestly like reading a Nervan Welsh book.
Apart from Ultimecia, where she speaks with K's instead of C's.
Yeah, and Norg always goes before he says anything. On Final Fantasy 8.
And Quina with her broken English.
Oh, yeah.
I eat ye.
Yum
Oh,
yums
yeah.
here.
No, Yummy's here.
There's a couple ATEs here. Vivi and the couple, where Vivi learns that here people aren't afraid of him. Quina is accused of stealing food and learns that, why do I have to pay for food? It's food. And then there's one that I just have a note that said Dagger and William, and I'm not sure.
Why you nicking me scran, Rally ho?
Where's my snap?
You get out of here, you fucking muppet.
Oh, there's another one here.
Go and Rally ho off, for God's sake. Honestly.
There's another one here called Hungry Brian, and at the very end of that, you see a black mage walk in to the shop to sell them food.
Alright, Brian, you hungry, like?
You're nicking me scran.
I'm gonna get you some scran. Alright, Brian. You want some peace pudding on your sarnie?
I like that, like, the Geordie accent is, like, so ridiculous that our Geordie member of of the group
I'm
still
not
has
a
to put an accent
Geordie.
on.
You are Geordie.
I'm not Geordie. They're
You
very
are.
much stronger than me.
Oh yeah, they
Eric,
are.
I'll take you to Newcastle if you ever visit up here, and you'll see what I mean.
As long as I can see Dave the Rave.
Oh, that's Sunderland.
What's like 5 miles down the road?
Yeah, it's quite far actually. Opposite ends.
Nobody here on this continent seems to be aware of the mist, and
Yeah, and they got a fascination with boiled owls as well. Well, I
As
like
you do.
Hungry Brian. You want a boiled owl for your tea? Go and say rally ho to the shopkeeper and give you a nice boiled owl.
Oh God.
isn't this
Dying.
where Vivi sees the Black Mage and runs along after him?
Yes.
So Black Mage is in the shop. Vivi walks in, sees him. Black Mage darts. Vivi follows him, and you learn that there's a village in the southeast forest where these Black Mages live.
But not where the owls go.
Because they've all been boiled.
Yeah.
Yes. What do you mean we've boiled all the owls? They're our favourite tasty treats.
Is this your new
Black-
bagel thing?
I think so.
Funny. I love it.
Only while we're in Condopedi, don't worry.
Only while we're in Condopiti.
Well, good thing we're leaving Condopedi and going to Black Mage Village.
Yeah, but we come back.
This is where battles really started to chug for me, Tom. I think-
Really?
Oh, yeah. They really chugged in that forest.
It must be. I don't know. It must be lots of detail to it or something. I don't know.
It was the same for me, Eric.
Yeah.
Should have played that remaster, guys.
Ugh.
Frame rate just tanked.
And
Tom, you said you have to leave now, right?
I do. I have to leave you all.
Okay,
Oh,
bye.
I
sad.
had to do it.
well,
Well,
aye,
thank you.
Tom, go and get yourself a boiled owl soon.
Aye. Too late.
Not even close.
I had to try.
Good effort.
Thank you.
Geordie Tom needs some work.
I'll get better. I'll practice in front of the mirror.
Listen back to this show.
Okay, I'll just listen to you for an hour.
All right. I'll send you my track so nobody else is speaking and you can just listen to me.
Nice. All right,
Bye,
gentlemen.
Tom.
Bye-bye. Farewell.
Bye, Tom.
Bye.
Tom's gone.
God, I fucking hate that Tom, don't you?
God, what a dick. Okay, so Black Mage Village is in the middle of a dying forest, and to get there, you have to follow the path where there are no owls. And
Indeed.
there's like a sign at a fork in the road, and you walk through, and it pops you out the other side, and then you have to look for where there are no owls. Or you can just read the sign that says, no owls this way, no owls that way, and you go the way where there's no owls.
Oh, does the
Just
sign
based-
change each time? I just
Yes, it
improvised. Oh, I improvised.
And then you finally get, I think it's like 3 or 4 times through, you pop out, and you see a black mage casting a spell over this portion of the forest that brings a shield down long enough for him to get through, and you sneak in behind him. And as soon as you come into the village, the black mages see you in this weird turn of events. Instead of people running from black mages, the black mages are now running from humans.
Yeah, it very much reminded me that bit of Esthar in Final Fantasy VIII, where this invisible town kind
Yeah.
of thing.
Oh, yeah.
So this place, there are a ton of ATEs, and this is where I sent you guys a message asking if it's possible to miss ATEs, because they pop up and they give you a list of like 4 or 5 to choose from, and when you watch one, the list doesn't show up again, and you have to move to another screen, and it pops up, and you can watch another one. But I only got through 4 of the 5, so I missed one of them.
Yeah, in answer to your question, there are some mandatory ones, and yes, you can miss the other ones. But you can, I can't think of any examples off the top of my head, but you can miss out on items due to missing ATEs. So if like...
And this
a
is one of
character
them, because
yeah,
I missed the one that gets the shopkeeper to move, where you can climb up then and get an item, and it's a powerful weapon, or a piece of armor or something like that I just missed.
No, you don't need an ATE
is
for
there an
that.
ATE?
No, Eric, you don't need to do that. You end up going up on top. When you're controlling Zidane, you go up on top of the shop. You can listen into what they're saying in the shop, and someone talks about getting the usual. You then go back down to the shop. You tell the shopkeeper that you want the usual. He moves out the way, and then you get the black belt.
See, I thought that was only done through an ATE.
No. You can climb up on top of the shop anytime.
I really like the Black Mage Village though, because obviously Eric was saying like they're scared of the humans, and this is where Vivi kind of finds himself a little bit, and because he relates to these guys, they're not like other Black Mages. They can speak, they know what's going on, they don't want to fight. They just want to live in this village.
Well, yeah, you see a bunch of ATEs where Vivi's running around chasing the mages, and he ends up at the graveyard with... The other black mages don't have names, they just have numbers. And one of them there is kind of a real simple guy, and then the other one seems to be like a cleric or a village elder. Was he BM 288, Black Mage 288?
He's got his staff, that's all you need to know. He means business.
Yeah. Talking about, is he the one who came with the humans? And then they say, is he all right? Look at his eyes. He's aware like us. And you learn that all of these mages in this village kind of became aware right around the same time and escaped from either Alexandria or the cargo ships, and they needed to find a place where there weren't any humans. So they came to the northern continent, and as more black mages become aware, they hear about this village of black mages in the northern continent, and they make their way up there.
But how did they get there?
Probably the same way we got there.
But the chain wasn't broken.
Well, they probably stepped over it.
No.
So the scene at the cemetery always is, to me, this is one thing that really stands out, because it's really kind of sad. This guy is standing there, this black mage is standing there, and they had just buried somebody that he's like, he just stopped moving. And
they're very naive.
They have no
aren't they?
concept
Very
of death, do they?
Yeah, he's like, is he gonna come out again? And he says, when he comes out again, I'll take him down to the pond and I'll wash him off to get all that dirt off of him. And he's like, I bet it's really cool down there, cold. And but
This is when you
BM280,
start to learn that the black mages have this limited lifespan,
what is it? A year from the time they're aware,
something like that.
or is it time of production?
I think it depends on the model and stuff. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's never really explained properly. It's just kind of they have a limited lifespan, which makes you begin to think: does Vivi have this? And he begins to wonder for himself: is he going to stop, like how they see it? Is he going to stop suddenly? Is he going to die?
And that's kind of his whole internal struggle this whole game. And doesn't Vivi ask one of them, like, why are you staying here then? And I've got a note on that. I'm trying to remember that conversation.
This is where I'm struggling a bit with the exact conversations, because I finished this too so long ago, and I'm getting them jump started when you bring them up, but remembering them exactly.
Oh yeah, one of them starts talking about every black mage here became self-aware under different circumstances. And he's like, well, do you remember being born? Like, I just suddenly became aware. And this particular one that's talking says, I woke up with a dead human next to me, and there was blood everywhere, and it's kind of like the killing shocks them into self-awareness.
Which is really sad. Like, this part, the Black Mage village is quite nice and quaint, but the whole story behind it is
There's a lot of story beats in Black Mage Village. Actually, this is where Zidane starts to open up about his past as well. Like, he tells Dagger a story at night where he's on about his past, where he kind of does it in third person, but he is alluding to himself, and he reveals that he doesn't know where he comes from, and he's been searching all his life for his home.
Yeah.
Baku essentially was like an adopted father, and Tantalus were his adopted family.
Yes, and he used to beat him.
Well, and it kind of ties in with the whole thing with Vivi as well, because Vivi is looking for a home, a place to call his home, but through Zidane's story, he kind of reveals that, like, where I am and who I'm with is home.
There is actually one of the tracks on Final Fantasy IX's OST is called A Place to Call Home.
Yeah.
So it is a common theme throughout the game.
Well, it's quite interesting because we spoke about on the last show about how Zidane is almost trying to treat Vivi like a younger brother, and he's trying to get him to think about girls and things like that. And it's, as far as I've got now, it's never really said that Zidane's trying to do it, but you can almost it's almost like he sees so much of himself in Vivi. He doesn't really know where he's from. He hasn't got a home, and he's trying to teach Vivi in his own image because he realizes the similarities between them, and trying to play out his own issues with where he came from and not knowing where he came from through Vivi. If he can get Vivi to help himself through it, it's almost helping him through it.
In a more light-hearted section in the Black Mage Village, Quina also tries to eat a chocobo egg.
I bet those things are delicious.
I forgot to stop and pick him up.
What, did you leave him there?
Well, I didn't have Queen at this point again.
Do you have to pick her up again?
Wait, no, because you can't.
You meet her again at
right.
Q's Marsh.
Yeah, that's right, because then they took off from Conda PT and separated, and you had to get them all back before you could go to Black Mage. Never mind, I had Quina. I found my note on what he was talking about. So, Black Mage 288 is talking about how this village here fills him with joy, and that joy of being in this village around people that he loves outweighs his fear of death. Because somebody, I don't remember who it was asking him about, don't you want to go out and try to find a way to not die, essentially? And he says, you know what? This is where I belong. If it's only going to be for a year, that joy will outweigh my fear of death. And,
I suppose that's kind of what life's all about, really, isn't it? Embracing it and just not worrying about what's coming next.
Yep. And the whole kind of theme of this game, too, is like traveling with friends gives your life meaning, and that's where your home is.
Indeed.
And then you learn that the Silver Dragon is in the northwest part of the continent. And that's obviously your next step. But as you're leaving the village, I have a little note here that I love the stupid little quips that Zidane has. Like, you gather everybody up except Quina. And as you're walking out, Quina comes running up like, hey, wait for me. And Zidane goes, oh, I forgot about you.
It's what happens all the time with Quina. Quina leaves the party a lot.
Quina doesn't give a crap.
Quina just wants food.
Just give me some food. I'm here. You guys forget me, whatever. I'm going to go find some food. And then you got to head back
I've got a note about that for Disc 3, but I'll say it next show.
You head back to Konopiti, and to get through to the northern continent, you have to go through this ceremony.
Well, yeah, like you're going to have to get married if you want to go through Sanctuary. You can't go past, like, you got to get married.
Did you guys have Vivi and Quina get married?
Yes.
I love that. And then there's a little ATE called Nuptial Joy, where you actually get to watch the ceremony, and Quina leans in to try to kiss Vivi.
Yeah. I put a note here. Quina is thrilled to be married to Vivi, who is a child.
Quina actually go, I so happy.
Yes.
Very forward thinking.
So
at this
you
point,
got married now. I'll send you off with a boiled owl and you go off to the sanctuary.
at this point, the thief is caught in the sanctuary, or not caught, but noticed, and the thief is
stealing
running
food.
out. Stealing food, and it's
taking all the boiled owls.
How are we pronouncing her name? Eiko?
I say Eco.
I say Eco.
I say Ico.
I just don't want to say Ico, because then it's like the other game, Ico. Plus there's an E in front of it.
But Eco is like the substance from Jack and Daxter.
I suppose.
Let's just say it however we want.
Yeah,
Let's just call her Fred.
that's wrong.
I know it's wrong.
It's not Fred. So you gotta. There's a big battle, like the High Goss battle, as you're trying to get through to.
Oh, it's not Hillgilligers or something.
Well, you're missing out here because you actually end up meeting Eco properly, and then
Hang from a
Quina tries
branch.
to. Yeah, Quina tries to eat her Moogle called Mob.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
That's when Quina leaves your party again, and you end up with Eco.
Is this the first time where you actually learn that a Moogle can shrink down and be tucked into a pocket? Because when that happens, everyone's like, "Whoa, what happened there?"
Yeah, must have. I have a question for you guys.
I have an answer for you.
Oh, thanks. I distinctly
off.
remember, and I'm trying to find out if I just remember this incorrectly, because Eco is obviously the only other character who can summon, other than Garnet, and Garnet has only just got her ability to summon back. Now, I remember when I played this years ago on the PS1 version, if you use a summon, like near enough straight away with Eco, inside the battle, one of them, I think it's Garnet or Zidane, go, Eco, was that an Idola?
Yeah.
Yes, they do. Yeah, they do.
Yep.
Yeah, definitely.
I had that happen.
But I did it on this one. I don't remember it happening. I don't know if I did it soon enough or not.
I never used the summons, so I didn't have.
No, that was during the Hilgeiger's battle. It's a scripted piece.
Oh, maybe that's why I fucked up then, because I must have used it beforehand, then got to that, and it'd be a bit stupid if they...
Yeah.
You can't miss it though, Eric, because you don't have to summon in that battle.
I thought Eco automatically did it.
No, I don't.
No.
I definitely didn't get it at all.
Interesting thing about the summons on this, so there's an option in the configuration menu on the PS1 version. I don't think it's actually in the version I'm playing, but I could have just missed it. So the first time you use the summon, you get the full animation, but then after that, every single time you use it, you just get a very short version.
Yeah.
So like
Yeah.
when you use Fenrir, you literally just get the giant arm coming out of the ground. But in the options menu, you can actually change it so you get the full ones all the time.
I wish you could have done that in Final Fantasy VIII. Because
Yeah,
I got
when you
tired of
summon
watching some
Eden
of
for the
those.
umpteenth time,
Yeah,
Yeah.
but then you need to boost though, don't you?
you do.
Yeah.
Do you guys know about the different accessories and stuff affecting these summons?
No.
Especially with Eco. So with Eco, a couple of her summons, if you have certain items equipped to Eco, it has different effects. So Carbuncle, if you just use standard Carbuncle, obviously casts Reflect on all of your party. However, if Eco has an Emerald equipped, Carbuncle will cast Haste on your entire party. With a Moonstone equipped, it'll cast Protect. And lastly, a Diamond will get Carbuncle to cast Vanish.
I did not know that.
Yeah, it's same
Wow.
with Fenrir as well. It's an earth damage to all enemies. However, if you equip the Maiden Prayer to Fenrir, it'll cause wind damage instead.
Wow. Mikey knows his stuff.
Oh, there you go. But you also know... Do you guys know that if you collect more of the item that teaches the summon, it makes it stronger as well? So what I was saying before about getting Peridots, if you have more Peridots in your inventory, Ramu is stronger, and it goes for all the rest of the summons as well.
Is that why you get so many of them?
That
I
is
knew
why
there was
you
a
get so many of
reason.
them.
I knew
Yeah.
that. I remember now. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
So after you recruit her to the party, you wander up the path and you get your first shot of what the Kondapiti dwarves call the sanctuary. Which
Big old
is-
tree.
Is a big old tree, which for most of my life I was convinced was called the Leafer tree.
Because it had leaves on it.
No, because it looks like it says Leafer in the text.
Yeah, I always thought it was an L. I wonder if it's just one of those shared like misconceptions, like the Bernstein Bears.
No, it is spelt IIFA. So
It
it's
is, yeah,
Aoife.
but I remember it starting with an L. I don't know why.
Because it looks like an L.
It looks like a lowercase L, like it's not a proper noun, and they didn't capitalize it.
So I think it's Aoife tree. I'm not sure though.
It's got to be Aoife tree. But before you can go there, because it's got a spell cast around it, which this is the part that doesn't make sense. When you go through this ceremony, people come here to get they come to Kondapiti to get married, and then they go and they do whatever at the tree. They have to go to the sanctuary. How do they get in?
They don't. They just stay outside.
Because there's a huge force field around it.
All right, like, we're going to go and sit outside the sanctuary and have a shag.
So you got to head to Aiko's hometown of Maiden Suri, which is the village of lost summoners, but it's inhabited by Aiko and a ton of Mughals.
Indeed.
And this is where you learn that Aiko has the hots for Zidane.
Even though she's like 6.
I hate this. She's so fucking ridiculous.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of this character.
It gets dropped quite quickly as well. Like a bit later on, like she just, this is going forward a bit, but she just kind of suddenly stops. I mean, she does come to a bit of a realization that Zidane and Garnet are kind of meant for each other, quote unquote. But it just kind of drops.
I find individual character development drops off a lot towards the back end. So after disc 2 and about a couple hours into disc 3, it really drops off in favour of the main storyline. So
there's some characters that just don't get much development anyway.
like Amarant. Amarant has nothing.
Yeah.
His are done a lot
Literally
through
what I was
ATE, though.
Yeah, he has a few bits, but overall he's not really a very fleshed out character. He's just kind of there. Like, I still think Beatrix would have been a better option.
He's just not very interesting either, and in battle he's not great.
He feels like
I've started using him in battle, actually, this time.
Yeah, and I mean, what are you taking advantage of with him?
He's kind of like Steiner. He's a very big damage dealer. So if you use attacks a lot, which I tend to do, having him and Steiner in the party, I'm ended disc 3 doing about 6,000 damage apiece.
Oh, nice.
So it's just really quite useful. Yeah. So anyway, this section in Maiden Suri is where Garnet learns about the Summoner Wall, and she kind of starts to suspect that this is somewhere familiar to her.
Vivi kind of has a lot of realizations here as well. There's a ton of ATEs that happen here. He starts to...
Because Aiko cooks the food for them, doesn't she?
Yeah.
And fishes up Queena from the river. Because of course she does. And then Vivi and Zidane have this kind of chat outside and then piss off a ledge.
Yeah. Zidane teaches Vivi how to pee.
So you just stand there, you lob your cock out, and you just let it go.
Well, Dagger, there's an ATE called Dagger's Feelings where she feels like she lost a piece of herself with the Eidolons, but now that she's here, Maiden Suri feels familiar.
There's a lot of those ATEs with those feelings, isn't there? Like Aiko's feelings, I think.
Mm-hmm. Vivi's
she's
feelings,
kind of very
Aiko
lonely.
Feelings. Yep. She sees Zidane as a hero, and then she kind of says, Grandpa, I don't want to be alone anymore. Vivi's feelings kind of reflect around his time in Black Mage Village, where he's thinking about life and death. Does stopping equal dying? Where do we come from? And when we die, do we go back to where we came from? And he ends it with, why am I shaking? Poor guy.
Yeah, he's not having a good time.
No.
Yeah, little, isn't he?
Aiko's kitchen, there's one where you have to choose how many people to pour water for. Did you guys remember to account for Queena?
Yes,
Sure
but
did.
I still think I did too much.
I did 10, and then when Queena shows up to start cooking, he's like, oh, there's not enough for me. I felt so heartbroken. I'm like, of course I forgot about you. Zidane just said this. I forgot about you.
She says, is too much water to me.
Even if you put 11?
I think I put 13.
Oh, yeah,
I
then
put
that's
11.
too much.
I put 11.
And what did he say?
I can't remember, but it was right.
Do you get anything?
I don't think so. I think it's just dialogue changes.
This is where the Eidolon Wall is, which has been protected for generations by the summoners here. And they kind of painted all of the pictures of these Eidolons on the wall based on their research. And they've named the world Gaia, and the Eidolons are the protectors of the planet. So you kind of get a little bit of a backstory.
Right, so hang on. The better the food is, the longer the dinner time conversation will be. If the meal turns out excellently, Eco will explain how summoners communicate with Eidolons through her horns.
Huh. Interesting.
So yeah, you don't get anything for it. It's just a bit of extra exposition, I guess.
Doesn't Eco at one point mistake Quina for Kuja?
I think so, yeah. I remember that. Yeah, when she fishes her out, she says, "Are you Kuja?" And no, she's like, "Iquina."
Interesting. This is something for Disc 4, but what I'm looking at that just told me that information. I mean, you guys might already know this. I'll leave like the actual reveal for Disc 4, but in Disc 4, you find out that Princess Garnet's real name is engraved on the wall.
Huh. Is it?
Yeah, I won't say what it is now. I'll leave it until.
Is it Garnet?
No.
It's Tom.
Yeah, it was Tom all along.
Ugh.
It was me, Austin. It was me all along.
Dan, the conversation that you were talking about with Vivi and Zidane is a little bit more impactful than just teaching him how to whip out his dick and piss.
That's what I took from it.
Obviously. So they're talking. Vivi's asking Zidane, what if I keep feeling like this? And Zidane says, either you do or you don't. It's just that simple. And he says, I just want to protect the people I'm with, and either I can or I can't. And I believe that I can, so I'm going to do it. So that's essentially his advice to Vivi: is like, you just find something that you want to do and just do it. If you want to find out who you are, then find out.
Yeah, he does do that.
But hey, let's go pee.
That is the most important part of that scene. It is about the male bonding, I guess.
Yeah.
I mean, I've never personally took a friend with me to go have a piss, but whatever.
And girls do it, and they bond quite well.
True.
Guys have been missing out, I guess.
Yes, we need to embrace this way.
So Eco joins the party, and then at the very end here, Dagger looks at Zidane. He's like, why are you so nice to everybody? So her vision of Zidane is starting to change. And then you head to the Leafa tree.
Aoife tree.
Leafa, which is the ancient tree of life, where
EV tree.
in all of the northern continent, this is the only place where there's actually mist. And they're like, hey, maybe
there seems to be mist coming out of the roots.
This might be the source.
It's a very big tree.
This is the first time that I actually noticed they make a comment as you're walking in that Moogles are actually fairies. Is that ever referenced in any other game?
I don't think so.
I don't think so either. No, I know of. But you guys have played a hell of a lot more Final Fantasy than me, so
it's the first time. That's why I made a note of it. I'm like, that's odd. I didn't remember that. But they sense life, and the Moogles here sense that there's a whole lot of life here. And as they're making their way down, they're like, hey, maybe there's a connection between Kuja and the mist is made here, like Dan said, in the roots, and then channeled to the main continent.
Well, you encounter a boss who kind of basically says that, doesn't he? Like the Leafa tree is used to process souls or something.
What's the bit where Vivi starts hearing things in his head? Because he says, I can hear a voice inside my head, and then Zidane said, you just said Kuja.
It's the boss. It's
Yeah,
the Soul Cage boss. Do you guys know that you can kill the Soul Cage boss very easily?
Yeah, with a phoenix down.
Yeah, because it's a zombie.
You want to steal all the bits from it, though.
Yeah.
Because you get the Oak Staff from it, which teaches Vivi some awesome spells that you don't get until a bit later on.
It's interesting. This boss that you fight is, what is he? He's like a sentient root from the tree. And
mixed a little bit with a wall.
Yeah, a little bit. So he kind of reveals
it's
more about...
like if the demon wall from Final Fantasy VII had sex with the Ifa tree.
Nicely put, Michael.
Thank you.
Good visualization there. He reveals a little bit more about what the mist is, and the mist is a byproduct of the refining process, and it's discharged through the roots. So then he goes on to say, I personally contaminated the other continents to stimulate the fighting instinct, and fighting leads to war and the fall of civilization. So Kuja just happens to be putting that byproduct to a different use, like creating black mages like Vivi. So essentially a black mage is a dark spawn of the mist.
But so are monsters.
Yeah, but don't the monsters just, like, the mist affects them and turns them?
No, I think the mist forms the monsters. I think. At least on the mist continent.
Yeah, it's a bit vague on that. They kind of hint that the mist makes the monsters, but then obviously there's monsters everywhere else, so...
Inconsistency there.
So after you fight the tree, you got to head back to Maiden Suri, discover that the stone is stolen, which Eiko just keeps in a box on a table in her living room.
I don't like this bit where you have to go back and forth from Maiden Suri to the...
It's not a quick walk, is it?
No. It's because you have to go across the world map, then you have to go through the section next to Kondapiti and across the world map again. So is this the bit when Amarant shows up? I can't remember.
Yeah, this is...
Yes.
So you get back to Maiden Suri and you fight him in the Eidolon Wall.
No, because Lani has Eiko held captive.
Yeah. And you challenge him to a one-on-one fight, and Zidane shows him mercy, doesn't kill him. Amarant can't understand why. He's like, look, I'm the loser. The victor should always finish off the loser. Why didn't you finish me off? And Zidane's like, I see a better purpose for you.
But Amarant can't understand Zidane's way of thinking.
What's that?
Yawn.
What is the deal with Amarant? What is he?
He's a
What's
bounty
happened to his
hunter.
hair?
Boring. He's so fucking boring. There's nothing interesting about him whatsoever. It's a
He's got
shitty
more hair
character
than
design.
Mike.
Yeah, it's a shitty character design. His face is like smaller than my little finger. Like his tiny little fucking chin with his goatee. It does. Where I'm up to on disc 3, he's still done nothing interesting. In fact, there's a little bit on disc 3 where he decides to have a bit of a paddy and leave the party for no fucking reason whatsoever, and then comes back again. It's incredibly fucking dull. Like he's less interesting than Kate Sif on Final Fantasy VII.
Oh. I don't think I've ever actually chosen to put Amarant in my party.
No, I told myself I might give him a go this
This
time.
is the first time I've done it, and I'm not really regretting it. I
told
don't know,
myself
with
I'd
me
do
in
it this
Final
time.
Fantasy games, I tend not to use spells in modern times, and I just attack a lot, because I can't
They're
be
just
asked waiting for the
faster.
spells. So, yeah, I just attack, so having physical damage dealers in the party is really good.
This is off topic slightly, but where I am now, my party seems to be Zidane, Vivi for the black magic, either Eiko or Garnet for a white mage, and then I'll kind of swap between Quinna and Steiner usually.
I keep Steiner. I'm
Always
Vivi, Steiner, Zidane, Garnet, all the way.
That was my party back in the day as well, always. But I'm trying to mix it up, because I've played it that many times. I'm trying to mix it up a little bit.
Yeah, variety is the spice of life, Daniel.
Indeed, Michael, it is.
So there's a spot here where you chat with Dagger. You go down and you meet her in a boat because you hear a song. You hear somebody singing. And Zidane goes down and the boat disconnects from the dock and they just go out and have this little romantic moment. And she starts recalling her childhood. Now that she's been here, her memories are starting to come back. And she's like, you know what? I was born in Maiden Suri. Then it came under attack, right?
Yes, by the eye in the sky.
By the eye in the sky. Her mother took her in a boat
On a boat.
across the ocean. Her mom ended up dying, and
Which is that first scene you saw at the very beginning of the game with the little
so that in the boat, that wasn't Garnet that you see. That was her mother.
Very similar.
Yeah, and the boat shows up in Alexandria.
I don't think you see that till later, though.
No, you don't. But since we're talking about it, you learn that Braun previously had a daughter named Queen or Princess Garnet who had just died. So she took this baby who had a horn, had the horn cut off, and raised her as Princess Garnet.
And conveniently, she looked exactly like her.
Yeah.
Yes.
I also
Well,
put
they
that
don't
the
say
boat,
how
the
old
boat
original Garnet was.
Yeah. She was 18.
Why did Princess Garnet become a baby again?
Magic. Yeah, I put the boat of Maiden Surrey has great romantic timing. It just goes away from the dock at the most opportune moment. And how do they get back?
Can't remember. That scene though, where you have the cutscene where you see the eye in the sky and it's basically destroying Maiden Surrey is awesome though. And very dark. That eye in the sky it's so evil and so sinister. I love it.
It is, because you're like, what the hell is that? You've never seen it up until this point, so you're like, what is that? And then we're back to the Aoife tree once more with Amaranth in tow.
And
Why did they go back to the Aoife tree?
Because Kuja's coming. I think it was part of Kuja.
Oh, okay.
One of the Mughals spots him or something, I think.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
And so they go back to the Aoife tree, and Kuja is there, and he's been attacked by Queen Bran because she's so greedy. She wants all of the power, so she's decided to betray him. Is that right?
Yes.
Yeah. And this is going back to like Amaranth being boring. There's some scenes here where like all the stuff is happening and all the characters are watching, and Amaranth's just stood with his back against a tree and is completely indifferent about the entire thing. And it's just, I really dislike him so much.
Really?
Yeah.
That is not apparent. More like boring rant, am I right, Mike?
Good one. God. Let's see.
So Kuja has come to the Aoife tree, as far as I understand it, because he's kind of sensed the soul cage has been killed.
Yeah.
Which has stopped the spread of mist on the Mist Continent.
Which he uses to create his black mages, so he's got to go check in on his investment. Bronn arrives. Dagger regains her Eidolon power, uses Aquamarine to summon Leviathan.
No, she doesn't summon it because it can't be used to get Kuja because it's water-based.
That's right.
Even though for the rest of the game you can use it anywhere.
Yeah, and Bronn is in the ocean in the boats. So if she summons Leviathan, she'll kill Bronn. And even though her mum's is not her real mum and she's being evil, Garnet can't kill her mum.
But Bronn doesn't feel the same way because she then summons Bahamut, who then destroys the tree. And then there's a cutscene.
Doesn't destroy it, but
he attacks it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Doesn't destroy it. It's still there. It's dragon versus dragon, mano a mano.
Well, and then Kuja comes away. In that cutscene, there's a little bit of blood on his head, and that kind of is. He's like, oh, maybe this is going to be a good fight.
Yeah, but he's just survived a massive explosion with a cut, so he's kind of very, very strong. So, but the Eye in the Sky comes and takes over Bahamut, basically.
And Bahamut then attacks Bronn.
Yes. And destroys all of her fleet of ships, which is what I was on about previously. They have ships!
They're floating just a millimeter above the water.
All right, okay. But how are they powered because the mist is gone?
Yeah. So this is what I thought was weird, though, because you see Bronn looking up at Bahamut as this fireball comes down and blows up her ship, yet she somehow manages to make it to an escape pod.
Oh, yeah. That is an inconsistency again.
Because I thought for sure, like, oh, yeah, great, she's dead. That's the end of that. But you find her on a beach near her escape pod, and Dagger and Bronn kind of have this rekindling moment, and Bronn comes to this realization now. She's like, I'm empty now. I'm free of that greed that she had. And
yeah, but you're not empty of food, you big fat heifer.
Saying that she last felt this way seeing a play with Dagger's father, and she then says, you know what, Dagger, people are going to be happier with you on the throne. And then she dies.
But just before that, a constipated dwarf shows up and goes, why, I like you had too many boiled hours, you big fat bugger.
So then you hop in her escape pod and go back to Alexandria, and that's the end of the disc.
Disc 2 in the bag.
It's a bit of a weird one because Final Fantasy 7 and Final Fantasy 8 always had like a massive boss at the end as the last bit of each disc. And you fight the Soul Cage here, and then you don't really have another boss before the end of the disc.
You just have those Mistodon things.
Yeah.
Well, and that's kind of where I was at right before the last show. I thought that...
Oh, God, you were right at the end.
Yeah.
Well, I was, but I was trying to finish it moments before we were going to press record, and I had to go back to Maiden Suri and then back to the Aoife tree, and I just wouldn't have had time.
No, you're still talking about probably an hour there.
Yeah. So
overall, I think it's quite a good disc. It's just a bit of filler in it, to be honest, with all the trekking about from Maiden Suri and the Aoife tree, and it could have been a bit more streamlined.
I still... Go ahead.
What I was going to say was that we said at the end of disc 1 that there didn't seem to actually be that much battling. I felt the same on this disc.
I was just going to bring that up. I still feel like, I'm 28 hours into this, or 22 hours into this, and I still feel like it's still really heavy in story, which is good, but I've always felt like other Final Fantasies have been paced a little bit differently where, okay, now you got to go to this next section, and there's this huge opportunity to do a bunch of battling, and there's a couple dungeons to get through. This is just plot dump, plot dump, plot dump.
And I said one of the things I always disliked about this game in the past was how slow-paced it was. Thinking back, this was one of the things that used to bug me, because unless you do some grinding, you don't level up very highly in this game.
No, you don't.
To the end of
I'm
disc
level
2.
45, so...
And that always bothered me on this as well. Like, I always just felt like the characters were really, really weak.
I don't think they're weak, it's just... It just levels slowly, but I feel like it scales well. I've never felt under-leveled from where I am.
I'm definitely under-leveled.
I'm definitely not.
Yeah, you're not.
But this is jumping ahead a little bit to the start of Disc 3, but I'm 2 or 3 hours into Disc 3, and I still haven't had the opportunity to get my whole party together and go level up.
Oh, it's coming soon.
Where you can actually switch characters, you mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's definitely a different style of Final Fantasy, which is great. If you're really big into the story, this game has a ton of it. Whereas Final Fantasy VIII was still awesome, but I feel like the plot was a little bit too few and far between with that. You were left a lot to fight and draw spells and upgrade.
Well, this will be interesting to see how it compares with Disc 3 and 4, where, as I said previously, character development takes a bit of a backseat to plot.
Yeah,
so
agreed.
It'll be interesting to see how we go forward with this.
I'm looking forward to it. I'm actually really enjoying this game way more than I have in the past.
Well, it's
me
good
too.
for you two, because you two kind of can't remember the end. So
I've never seen the end.
Yeah, so it'll be a really good experience for you guys. Like, Mike, I don't know how far you've got before. Are you past where you've been before, or?
I'm up to the point where I've just done it'll make more sense next show for the listeners, but I've just done the 4 Earth Seals. Yeah. And I'm about to go down into Terra. Now, I definitely remember the airship lowering down into Terra before.
So how long is it until we get an airship to fly around?
Oh, you get on Disc 3.
How far?
A few hours in.
Yeah. You've got a little while to go yet, but... But if you get the gold chocobo, or at least just is it the blue one that's the river?
Oh God!
Mountain?
Okay, I forgot to talk about this. I finally went to the chocobo forest.
Hooray!
I don't get it.
Boo!
I just don't I don't understand what's so appealing. And I should have brought this up when Tom was here because he would have backed me up.
It's really addictive.
It's not.
It is. Once you start leveling up and you can dig up better treasures, it gets really fun.
Yeah, but at most you can dig up 2 treasures.
No, you can't.
During
you can get 8 in one. You can get 8 in one go.
Yeah. If you find them within quick succession, you get more time.
If you get 4, it gives you 10 extra seconds, and then because your beak level goes up, you can dig faster. And then when you get more different types of chocobos, you get to dig better.
Plus, also, if you find another item within 5 seconds of finding the last one, you get a few extra seconds as well.
No, you get extra points. You don't get extra seconds.
Oh, I thought you got a few extra seconds as well.
No.
I probably did 30 of them, never able to find more than 2 in a go.
You need to get good, son.
No!
Just stick with it, because a lot of the best items in the game can only be got using the gold chocobo.
Yeah,
so,
agreed.
Like Zidane's ultimate weapon.
Oh god.
But yeah, I'm where I am on Disc 3. I've just got the gold chocobo.
And searching
Well, I
for the
haven't just
chocographs. Have you went outside and found any chocographs yet, Eric?
Yeah. I
Did
found
you
one
find any?
chocograph, the very first one, that was
Hooray.
like 2 minutes away from the first chocobo forest I was at.
Well done.
Yeah, I got there. Guys, should we do some questions?
Yes, I've got it up if you want
Yes.
to start.
We don't have any emails this week, but if you want to send us an email, factorysealed@manatank.com, or probably the better way to give us questions is every week, one of us, typically Mike, will post a message on our Facebook page, which is facebook.com/groups/factorysealedpodcast.
Well remembered.
Yeah.
He's got there. He's
it's-
woke up now.
Yeah, it's 9 o'clock. I've been up for damn near 4 hours now. Yeah. So Mike posed a question 3 weeks ago. Do you still have it pulled up?
Mm-hmm.
Give it to
I
us.
asked our usual question for our usual thing for questions and comments. I also said, for a bit of fun, which Factory Sealed host would you fake marry to get through Condor Peter's Sanctuary, and why? So there'll be some of those involved as well. I'll start off with Dan, because he actually said, I would marry Eric Peterson purely because of that photo of him with the ginger hair. Whoa.
I'll dye my hair red again for you.
Mark Macheshi on Disc 2. Right, so, well, since now all of you had Quina for a bit, other than Tom, how in general do you like or utilize the blue magic? As a kid, I usually glossed over it, but my last play of this or Final Fantasy VII with enemy skills, I realized how strong and fun using them once gotten could be. Do you actively try to get the powers or find it a bother?
So I did when I first got her, but then haven't bothered later on.
See, I've been using him quite a bit. I said that I've been using Quina loads. It's because of those. I mean, things like Mighty Guard, which is Ace.
I
there's
wish I
also
would have.
Life later on you can cast.
I wish I would have used him to get 1,000 needles.
Yeah, there's that as well. Frog Drop, if you level that up, that's Ace. There's an ability that I can't remember what it's called. I think it's Angel's Snack, where it casts Remedy on your entire party. That's really fucking useful. So yeah, I've been using it quite a bit. I've been trying to get them where I can. It's just a bore like trying monsters out and then realizing that they were no good.
Tastes bad.
I'm just stuck on my current party. It's one of those old habits die hard type thing.
Dalton Sutor. He starts off by saying, I'd marry Daniel Curtis. The cut-off sleeves got me.
They are
This
hot.
one isn't Final Fantasy VII related, but Final Fantasy IX even. He put, with me starting AC Origins, I was unaware of the progression of the series, having only played the first. How do you gentlemen feel about the series these days compared to when it came out? Also, apply this to Final Fantasy. How do you feel it's evolved over the years? When did it peak?
I don't know. I stopped playing Assassin's Creed after Brotherhood. I tried to play through 3 and lost interest completely after that.
I have played every mainline Assassin's Creed game, and it's a mixed bag. It depends on which ones you play. First one, bit meh. Second one,
Fantastic.
Brotherhood, really good. Revelations, bit meh. Assassin's Creed 3 was shite. Absolute turd.
It's because it's all about 1776 and you don't know anything about that.
You just said you don't like that one.
I know,
So,
but it's still...
Assassin's Creed Black Flag is probably one of the best ones in the series, due to the pirate ship and the open world exploration aspect to it. What's after that one? Unity was terrible because it was full of bugs.
Just a broken mess.
Syndicate was really good. That was set in Victorian London. That was a really good one. Last year's Assassin's Creed Origins was really good.
Origins? Origins?
Oh
Origins.
my god.
Go on.
I knew I'd do that.
Is
I
the
always
next
do
one
that.
Odessi?
Yes, it is.
Oh my god, Daniel.
But I think it peaked with Black Flag.
I'm actually really looking forward to Odyssey. I want to play that.
I heard very good things about Origins. I mean, I haven't played an Assassin's Creed since the first one. I played it. I remember looking at Assassin's Creed years ago and thinking, you know what, that looks like my kind of game. And I played it and I fucking hated it.
Oh, the first one was just garbage.
Yeah. And I've just never bothered since then. Like, that's left such an impression on me that I've just not bothered with any others.
It was kind of like me with Mass Effect.
But I saw Origins and the glowing reviews Origins got. Origins looks like right up my alley. I've not had time to get around to it.
It was real good. It had a lot of Skyrim vibes to it for me.
Apparently, if you want a game that really shows off 4K HDR, pick up Origins.
I just got a 4K HDR TV. Ooh. I am loving it. He said, second half of that question, he said, apply it to Final Fantasy. How do you feel it's evolved over the years? When did it peak?
I don't think Final Fantasy's ever peaked. I think it's always been good to a certain degree because every game is so different. They never try to replicate what was done in a previous game, whereas Assassin's Creed has always kind of been, okay, here's our formula, let's put it in a different time period and then add one new feature, and now we're going to go to a different time period and add another new feature, but we're still keeping that same core formula. Whereas, yes, Final Fantasy is an RPG. All RPGs by nature are similar. But I think Final Fantasy...
I suppose if there was ever to be a decline, it would probably be considered Final Fantasy 13 because 12 was really quite popular and then 13 kind of...
But if you think about it objectively, though, 13, well, it was a stark departure. 12 was a stark departure in that it tried to replicate an offline MMO. 13...
Oh, yeah. This is what I always argue about 13. Every Final Fantasy tries something different. And I honestly really liked 13.
It was great because it was all about the plot. And you can definitely tell that they put a lot of time and energy into this, but I think they backed the wrong horse with 13 because they kept pushing this world on us that nobody gave a shit about.
I still played them all.
I did. I have all of them, and the battle system in Lightning Returns is fantastic. They finally refined it to a point where it's amazing, but I never actually finished 13 because it was so linear, it was so boring that by the time you finally got...
You could argue
Go ahead.
that Final Fantasy 9 is quite linear. You go from point to point most of the time until Disc 3 when you can explore.
Yeah, it's 20 hours of linear. I guess it's kind of the same because 13 finally opened up when you hit Grand Pulse around 40 hours, and that's when I stopped playing.
The difference has that illusion of freedom because you have the world map.
Yeah,
Dan, the difference with that, though, is sure, it's in Final Fantasy, using that idea of comparing Final Fantasy IX's linear aspects to it. The thing is, they're pre-rendered backgrounds, and you're just twisting and turning through set paths through the pre-rendered backgrounds, but... In Final Fantasy 13, and I played it to the same place that Eric did, up to Grand Pulse, and I kind of just gave up, which ironically I'm told is where it gets really good.
Yeah.
Yes.
But when you're walking through the areas of Final Fantasy 13, it constantly feels like a corridor. That's the difference.
And they got rid of shops, they got rid of towns, everything's done through just this little kiosk. I think 13 is definitely where the series declined, but I think everything else is kind of on the same plateau. You can argue for any Final Fantasy game and why it's fantastic.
See, for me, I haven't played anything older than 7, and I came in at 7, played 7, 8, and 9 on the PlayStation, played 10 on the PS2, and those, speaking of the 3 on PlayStation 1, 7, 8, and 9, that was Final Fantasy for me. That is Final Fantasy for me. That's what I always think of. 10, sure, it took a little bit of a departure, but it was enough like those 3 games that I loved it, and I felt like it was an evolution of it. Now, I'm not an MMO player, so when I tried 12 out, I really didn't like it. I didn't get on with it. I only played it for a few hours, didn't get on with it, didn't really play it. Gave 13 a go, like I've said, and I've not tried 15 yet. But I feel like, and I could be wrong because I've not played the older ones, I know brief history of some of them. Like what Dan said before about how they evolve, it seems like they do go through little sections. So 7, 8, and 9 were also similar. Then you got to 10, and then that just suddenly evolved up to 12, where they did the MMO because they had 11 in between. They also had, obviously, 14 later on as well. 13, they tried something different. They were trying to go that action RPG kind of route, and then it sounds like, I've not played 15 yet, it sounds like they refined that quite well with 15.
15 is a great combination of 12 and then 11 and 14. because it still has that MMO feel to it, where it's this big, huge open world. You're down behind the character, but it feels like the combat system a little bit from 12, where it's real time. And
I really liked 15. I just disliked the lack of story.
I'm gonna wait until, like you said, they do a complete final master edition, and then I'll replay it.
You might have. You might get Final Fantasy 7 before that.
Yeah.
I mean, there's certain sections where you could just tell they just kind of rushed it and got out the door, like the story just drops off towards the end.
Well, I think to answer Dalton's question, though, I wouldn't say a particular game peaked it, but I would agree with Mike that for me, the PS1 era Final Fantasies are where it peaked.
Yeah. Particularly with 7.
With 10 kind of with it as well. 10's phenomenal.
Yeah.
But I mean, you can. What I was trying to say about like it almost going through like several games going through a certain direction. In some ways, you can say that the Resident Evil series has been like that. You know, you had 1, 2, 3 and Code Veronica in the old, tank controls. They tried the action shooter through 4, 5, and 6, and now it's gone to a first-person perspective. With 7, and they're doing a similar sort of thing with Resident Evil now, where
But they are going back to that kind of style for Resident Evil 2.
I think that's a good choice. I think people there would have been an outcry if
it's too far back. Yeah. You couldn't go back to that top-down tank control again. If they were to have just slapped a new coat of paint on it and be like, "Hey, here's a remake," like they did with the 7 and 9 for PS4, it just wouldn't have gone over well. I think
It'd be interesting to see when 8 comes out, if they wait and see how the reception is for Resi 2 remake to see if they'll use that system or if they'll go with the first person again, like in 7.
I think they'll go with the first person. I think they've specifically gone back to the over-the-shoulder Resident Evil 4 style because, like I said, if they'd done first person with Resident Evil 2, everyone would have gone, it's too different. It wasn't first person.
Sound like Eric again there.
Yep, it's another great impression.
Mm-hmm. Shall we move on? Zach Foley, I think we've forgotten something really important. A question for the ages. Has Dan purchased Mario Kart 8 and or a Pro Controller for the Switch?
Nope.
Okay, that answered that.
I almost went out and bought another Pro Controller yesterday because we had my daughter's birthday party and I wanted a bunch of people to be able to play Mario Tennis, and just ended up borrowing a controller. But I don't understand. You have to get one of these controllers. They're just the best.
I bought a second set of Joy-Cons for
There is nothing wrong with the Joy-Cons. They're fine.
See, I would have bought another Pro Controller over a second set of Joy-Cons. I know the Joy-Cons technically give you 2 controllers, but man, we played so much Mario Tennis yesterday in doubles form. That is a fantastic party game.
I might get Mario Party when it comes out, and I think that's Joy-Con only by the looks of the trailer. So having 4 for that would be great.
Oh, we haven't had a show since Mario Tennis came out. So if you guys are on the fence about it at all, and you have people to play with, I think that's the huge caveat. If you have people to play or a significant other, get it and play it. Christy and I have so much fun playing this together. The adventure mode it's boring, to be honest, but it helps get you ready for actually playing the game. It teaches you the mechanics and actually how to be good at the game. But it's not like the old Mario Tennis games where it's like a fleshed out story and sort of an RPG element like the Game Boy Advance one was. But I'm really happy with this game.
I'm really happy with Hollow Knight, which I bought for Switch. £12, and it's huge.
It looks good.
It's kind of like Salt and Sanctuary in that it was $10 or $15 and you get like 20 hours of gameplay out of it.
Oh my god, honestly, it is amazing. Like, take any Metroidvania you've played and it just has so much depth to it. Like, there's things to see everywhere. Every location is so distinct. The bosses are excellent. The music is just so good. Combat's fun. And all the new abilities and things you get, and then you just want to explore the world and find everything. And I'm probably about 15 hours in, to be honest, and I have barely scratched the surface. So it's 100% your kind of game.
I think Zach, your recommendation got Zach Foley to buy it, and he was sending me a message about how good it was too. So it seems to be pretty universal that it's
for £12. It's a no-brainer. So I just buy it.
I'm going to jump on that, but I've just managed to pick up Mario Rabbids Kingdom Battle for £20, which is a steal over here. I've not seen it cheaper than that.
That's a really good game as well, actually.
Yeah. Right, Juliet Breslin Romano. She's got several stages. Oh, sorry.
The one from Santos.
Yeah, Santos. I'd scroll down. Sorry, Santos Lopez. Does anyone else think Does anyone else think that Vivi and Orko from He-Man look the same?
Similar, yeah.
Yeah, I can see it. I can definitely see it.
Black face with the yellow beady eyes.
Right, Juliet Breslin Romano. She's got several parts to this question, so I'll do one bit at a time. She's put, I'm wondering why you all dislike Garnet so much. I absolutely love her. Some reasons, all from Disc 1, because that's as far as I am. She really wants to help her kingdom/friends. She realises she has a lot to learn and is trying to do so and succeeds. She sucks it up and travels in that pickle bag and managed not to pass out despite the smell. And she made up an entire plan to get there. She was brave enough to leave her home and then have the guts to drug everyone except Steiner so that she could continue on the path she thought was best. She stands up to Steiner when he's out of line, but also respects what he does for her. She keeps a level head and around Zidane despite all his flirting, not falling for his player act, brushing him off multiple times when he's out of line, or responding with ... which in these cases I always interpret as this face that's like, yeah, I don't think so, watch it, buddy. Also, I'm a total Zidane/Dagger shipper, so obviously in later discs things change, but I think she sees that he also has good intentions, always looking to help his friends too.
Did we say we dislike Garnet? When did we say we dislike Garnet?
Well, we did kind of give the impression because she's kind of this your traditional stereotypical prissy princess who just kind of was born with a silver spoon in her mouth and doesn't really understand how the world works.
Yeah,
But
I
she's
think I
coming
gave the
around.
impression because we bitched about the fact that she went all that way and then suddenly went, actually, I'm going to go back.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't hate her. I think she's okay. Like, it's interesting to see how much she grows because she is very naive. Like she's a little bit headstrong in a way. She knows what she needs to do and wants to do, but she's also very naive at the same time.
I very much dislike her at the start of Disc 3, but I will allude to that next show. For reasons.
in the battles.
Yeah.
Yeah, agreed.
I just think it's a stupid plot point. I think it's unnecessary.
Have I gotten to that yet?
Probably.
Have you used Garnet in battle at the beginning of the Disc 3?
I don't think so.
Oh no, it's a
Have
bit
you-
later on than Disc 3.
Has she lost her voice?
Oh, nope. Not yet. I remember that.
Spoilers.
Right. Also, the next part of her question: how do you all feel about the major lack of ethers in this Final Fantasy? It makes me almost never use magic except in boss fights. I know you can use tents to recover MP, but they're so expensive. Maybe if I started using the tents, I would see it was worth the trade-off. I haven't noticed a lack of ethers.
I just buy them. I have a ton.
Can you buy them?
Yeah.
I never use them. Don't use spells.
I use spells, but I suppose because I've been using that cotton robe trick, I've always had loads of tents. So
I think you can buy. Yeah.
Do you guys notice the tents don't fully heal you on this game?
yeah, they don't get rid of your status effects, do they?
Have
but they
tents
don't
ever revived?
No. I don't think so.
Yeah, I also wondered that.
Wait, maybe you can't buy ethers. No, you can't
I'm
buy
sure you
ethers
can't.
in Final Fantasy IX here. I'm just looking.
You also can't buy high potions on this one until Disc 3,
Yeah, I noticed that.
which is why you do the Chocobo side quest, because you get millions of items.
That might be where I've got a lot of tents and ethers from as well,
Yeah.
actually. Because I've done every part where I can progress the Chocobo quest, I've done it.
I've finished it.
Yeah, me too. Done and dusted. Apart from the one that you can't dig up till Disc 4. There's another... It's either a crack in the mountain or a thing in the ocean that you can't get till Disc 4 because it's on
Yeah.
the Shimmering Isle, yeah.
Yeah.
And last part of her question. She says, I absolutely love the cutscenes/cinematics of this Final Fantasy and 8. I miss those in the new Final Fantasy games. I know the graphics are better overall, so they're not really necessary, but it was always such a thrilling and favourite part of Final Fantasy to me. How do you all feel about it?
I agree.
It
I feel
was
the
back
same
in
way.
the day. That was usually on the back of the box in like 8 hours of FMVs or something, wasn't it?
Yeah.
I always think about how with Final Fantasy 7, 8, and 9, and 10 as well, actually, when you've got the actual proper super res cutscenes, because there's, like Final Fantasy 7, for example, there is like a next step up cutscene, and then there's the actual really good ones. It always feels like Final Fantasies, and then Metal Gear Solids to a degree eventually started doing this as well. It was almost like the state-of-the-art graphics for the system at the time. Like,
Yeah, it was.
you did not have a game that looked any better than the Final Fantasy cutscenes at that time.
Yeah, I remember that all the time.
I do
always
like
the
though
case.
the current one with 15 how the FMVs, well not FMVs, but the cutscenes are done in engine, and it really zooms in and shows you this is how technically advanced this game truly is. Even though you're looking at it from a distance, now we're going to zoom in and everything's just going to be done in engine. It creates for a more seamless experience, and I do like
when
both.
we got to Old Tisha on Final Fantasy 15, that was amazing. Can you remember that, Eric?
Yes.
That was really good.
Yeah.
I was going to say something about cutscenes. I can't remember what it was now. Never mind.
Corbin LV, I'm a little fuzzy on my Final Fantasy 9, but I think the smuggling dagger in a pickle knapsack.
Oh yes,
thing
sorry,
is-
Mike. Before you go ahead, I was
go
going
on.
to say in Final Fantasy 10, the cutscenes annoy me because Tidus looks really Japanese and he doesn't in the game.
Oh yeah.
Right, carry on.
Yeah, sorry, Corbin LV. I'm a little fuzzy on my Final Fantasy 9, but I think the smuggling dagger in a pickle knapsack thing is either end of disc 1 or very beginning disc 2. Can we talk about the super creepy rumours regarding seeing her naked? Back in the day, I remember reading articles about tricking the game into giving Steiner and the player a fuzzy glimpse of a PS1 era nudity. Also, totally would fake marry Dan, but only if he drops a couple of watts into the ceremony. It seems like a Final Fantasy thing to do.
Do you, Dan, take the Corbin to be your Final Fantasy wedded husband? What?
Do ye, Dan, take Corbin to be your lawfully wedded husband, like? What? And now pronounce ye husband and husband. Get yourself a boiled owl.
I'd also fake marry Dan, because I know he'd look after me in the desert.
I'm very popular. What's your reason,
that's-
Mike?
Because she'd look after me in the desert if I got dehydrated.
Yes, I would.
That's it for questions.
That is it for questions. That is it for the show. Anybody got any final thoughts?
Yeah, I'd like to give a big shout out to community member Miles Prower. I went to Doncaster Comic Con last weekend, and he has a thing called Bring Back Retro, which you can find on Facebook, where he goes to events and sets up loads of like retro consoles and gaming and things like that. He let me, Hazel, and a couple of friends into his area for free, and we ended up playing a dance mat game on the PlayStation with him, and played some Time Crisis and stuff like that. It was real good fun, and
Yeah, it looks like a good
really
time.
appreciate it. So yeah, really nice to actually meet a community member as well. And if any of you guys in the UK see that Bring Back Retro at any events nearby, go and have a ganders. I recommend it.
We should go. We should go together next time, Mike. We should.
Yeah, he puts a lot of effort in, and he obviously works hard at it. And I got the impression from him that he's trying to make it as his full time job. So any support that he can get would be fantastic.
You know what else?
And thank you for my little Mario mushroom as well.
Aww.
It's hanging in my lorry in the windscreen.
You know what else we should talk about? This is still 6-ish months away. But we're all going to be, hopefully, if Dan gets himself put together, we're all going to be in Phoenix for a week in January.
Yeah, a week.
At least now it's just Mike. Tom is probably going to come, and Dan is
Oh,
probably
well,
going to...
if I can get the Flobby Wibble, Eric, that's the thing.
Yeah,
I'm putting it in tomorrow, and Hazel's going to ask tomorrow.
You'll get it.
Hazel will probably know within the next couple of weeks. I should know by the end of this week.
Here's a pro tip. Don't ask, tell.
Have we ever explained Floppy Wibble?
Yes.
Did we?
All right.
Yeah, when it first happened.
Yeah, so they're going to come down for the WWE.
Royal Rumble, bitch!
So here's hoping we'll have another all members present live show.
Oh God.
Oh
Shit
God, I
show.
didn't even think about doing a live show.
I really do want to come. If we can wangle it, it'll be really good.
If
And I
we
hope we
can
can actually get the
wangle
tickets.
it,
Wangle it, not wankle it.
there will
wangle
be
it.
no wangling of it in my house.
What about wankling?
There is plenty of wankling.
I'm there.